Okay.
Yeah, I sound great.
You guys trade houses this week?
Well, I was going to talk about that.
Oh. Mock got kicked out of the house, so he's now living with Andrew, or 34.
No, we're doing wife swap.
Dude, that's so 1998.
Oh,
Whatever that show was. That was so. I went 2 seconds.
Wife swap. Is that a show?
It was a show. It was so stupid.
It was like very PG rated though. It was not like
It wasn't like a key party.
Yeah.
It was,
You just had to
it
eat
was
their
a key
food.
party.
no,
Eat
it
their
was
food and
more
do it.
like, the messy wife goes to the clean house and the clean wife goes to the messy house.
Yeah.
And it's usually, I think they were crossing economic barriers that you usually don't cross. So that made a good show.
I want to cross with Hugh Hefner's house.
okay.
You want him showing
In the
up
90s,
at
not
your
now.
house? Yeah, that's to say.
Switch with the skeleton.
What's funny is you said
We're
about
live. We're live now.
Oh,
We are live.
We're live. Welcome to the Arcade Egg Hangout, episode 249, I believe, right?
You got it.
We're getting up there. America's longest running live arcade podcast in the world. Coming at you live from YouTube. America's greatest censored live shows that are on here. We're a group of friends that like to get together once a week, talk about video games and multimedia and what's on Disney Plus and what isn't on Disney Plus. We talk about Dave has a bunch of big things behind him that he calls arcade machines, and he does say he's in this hobby, so he's going to talk about some fun stuff.
oh.
And Andrew and I are wife swapping, and we're switching places. And I can look at all these games I got now. Awesome! I know what I'm doing later. So let's see. Did I miss anything? I think that's it. So Dave, do you want to talk about your arcade shenanigans?
We're getting right into it.
Yeah.
Or James.
Jim's already talked about his beautiful punch out that she's the super punch out that he restored, and doing that he got me all excited to do mine. But it was kind of like the same time frame. Actually, I had another punch out board, but it had bad acid damage, real bad. In fact, when I sent it to the repair guy, I was afraid he was just going to say, "You got to give me another board." But he was able to fix it. It took him a while. Not a while, but he had a lot of things he had to do to it. And then, but I got it like October 2nd, and Mike's Arcade, for those of you who don't know, sells a kit to change your regular punch out joystick into a super punch out joystick. It has a 5th micro switch, which does that enables the duck feature, which you have to pull up. So I felt like a big arcade guy because I did that yesterday with the control panel and put it on, and then quickly tested it with my punch out board that was in there, and it was good because I hadn't even unboxed the super punch out. But I did it today. I unboxed it, and oh man, he didn't have that security board on there because he didn't want to put it on during shipping. Boy, that only took a half an hour for me to put on. I feel like I can't see anything. Like, I think I need more than just cheaters. I'm like turning the light. I'm having my 8-year-old here. Hold a flashlight here. I can't see. Damn it. Because there's what, 40 pins or whatever.
Yeah, it's a Z80 socket, I think. Yeah.
It's but it's just the way, because they're so high, and it's like I'm just trying to.
It reminds me a lot of the Nintendo Versus daughter cards, although it's not that bad. Those you always feel like you're gonna break the board because you have to use so much force to get those suckers in.
But this is still like.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's high because it's got to clear the other chips. It's not.
Yeah, and by the way, I just because of that board, that daughter board, I've discovered that you can only put the PCB in one way because otherwise it brushes up against the cage side. You can't. It'll only go in one orientation. Because I was going to flip it around for the switcher, and it didn't work that way.
My punch out I put in wrong today. Now we're not.
You can
wrong.
put that in either way, yeah.
But mine it wasn't going smooth like it was because I put it back. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, this is.
Oh, was it getting stuck as you?
Yeah. I wasn't quite. And I looked. I'm like, oh, because the edge connector is usually on the right side. On mine, if you're looking in the back, my cage is on the left, and then I have the edge connector to the far right, so it's got less of a less shorter distance to travel. But so anyways, I put the Super Punch Out in, and I immediately noticed there was a massive hum, not like Jim's hum where I know because on my Punch Out it does have a little bit of hum, and I'm like, oh, this bothers Jim. But I like your fix. Like your fix is good, but this
it's simple, it's cheap. Yeah,
this is 100 times more that. And then I started playing, and then I thought it's just the duck's not working. But then I saw him; he was ducking on his own. I wasn't touching anything.
Oh,
and it wasn't a constant duck. Like he wasn't.
Oh, it's just like sporadic.
Yes, and
that same issue happened at on the one at Grinkers the last time that we were last year. I remember it was just sporadically he was ducking on his own. I remember telling Andrew, I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. I can't play this game.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. And at first I thought it was happening because it happened like when Bear Hugger's about to he does it on his own in wrong timing. And so I don't even know if it's working, like it didn't, it's just ducking. But so there's a few issues. But the guy that fixed it, I did a YouTube video to send it to him. And it was funny because my son was all excited and he wanted to unwrap the marquee and let's put the marquee on, Dad. It's Super Punch Out. And I'm like, no, well, I'm glad we didn't because it's got to go back a Punch Out for now because I have to send the board back. It's like I waited. I was all excited, but it happens. When you get a bad corroded board, there's a lot of issues. I mean, compared to that,
I'm amazed that the board I bought from you didn't have battery damage, because it had those original double A's in there and shit, and they're still like factory zip tied. Was like
mine when I sent mine first to Adam, whatever 6 years ago. Those were the original batteries from Japan, and they had no leakage or what. And I'm like, these are original. There's no way. I mean, where did someone would replace these, like in the States with these?
I actually thought about buying just lithium double A's. I shouldn't, but someone on Clav was talking about you can use a 2032, like one of the little flat battery coin cell batteries. Even though it's less voltage, it's like 3.2 volts versus that. But if you look up I'll get to that later, but it works. You can, the long story short, it works. You can use that because the chip only needs 2 volts to save it.
On a side note, do those button batteries ever corrode?
I've never seen one.
The only reason I'm asking is I have a 2013 Odyssey, and then my son was, "Oh, Dad, is that a remote control?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, fuck! I wonder if the batteries are corroded in there because we never use it." And they've been the battery since I bought it, and I took it out and they weren't. And I'm like, all right, I'll put it back in. But I wondered if, because I'd like to just, I mean, we don't use that remote, but if I ever sold the car, it works. I mean, it didn't work because the batteries are dead, but it'd be nice.
I've never seen any of those corrode. But maybe someone in the IRC or maybe has. But like in the discussion, they're like for replacing those AA batteries, people are using that because they don't, for that reason. And one guy said that he's had one in his game for like 15 years and it's still saving scores. So,
I guess that is the answer. But I checked it yesterday because I was like, oh, I never checked this remote. I immediately brought it to the basement. I'm like, well, not corroded. I just put the lid back on, put it right back in the car. I'll deal with it later. Just let the batteries in. But I wondered that. I didn't even think of something I never would use in the car. Like we never use the remote, for the DVD player, the entertainment system, in the back.
Maybe they're less prone to it, but obviously they do.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I notice now, like some of the batteries for my kids' toys that I'm changing are corroded. They're not that long, and that's why that Punch Out amazed me. 1983.
That could also be why a lot of these people are doing this, are doing like a daughter card type thing with the battery with the battery on there too, or it's just easier because the terminals where you would solder that in are a little bit narrower than like a holder, a battery holder for those. But anyways, you can kind of however you want to do it. You could solder a couple wires on there. There's a lot of ways to do it, but
my Super Punch Out board compared to my Punch Out board, My Super Punch Out board looks like somebody wiped their ass with it compared to how clean my Punch Out board is. Like the battery holder's no corrosion, even though there's no batteries in it. I'm just looking at like this. The thing's spotless compared to the. I mean, it was like something Sanford and Son would have in their Super Punch Out. It's but it worked.
Yeah,
it worked. But just got some issues. So he was cool.
Yeah, I keep running into. I keep thinking that I've only got one little thing left. Like the project's basically done. I can do my last little video blog, and then I run into like another snag, and it just like keeps happening. Like when Carrie was over here, it was like the same fucking thing. I was like, all I have to do now is because I installed those new batteries on both boards, and I tested them both, and they were saving scores. I'm like, great. And then I'm like, all I have to do now is install the switcher, and I made such a rookie, like it's such I know better. In fact, when I was doing it, I knew better, but you have to rearrange things like the power supply and stuff in order to get the switcher and the wiring and everything to work nice and play nice and be neat and not a big mess. And I went through the entire, I'm like, oh, this is a pretty straight up, pretty easy install from the instructions. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put the power supply here, and I'm going to take these wires, and I got it all neat and tidy, and I zip tied shit down, and I fire it up, and the fucker didn't work. And I'm so pissed. Like the Vector Labs one, you can do up to 4 things. You could do it's for all the dual monitor games. So arm wrestling, both punch outs, and play choice, if you wanted. And I don't know how you'd fit all fucking 4 boards in one cabinet, but anyway, so I plug both boards in, and well, actually, I should back up. If they in the instructions, which are outdated, they clearly have made some revisions, because in there they have the board keyed just like the punch out board is keyed, so that you can it can only go in one way. The problem is the board I got was keyed on both ends, so you don't know which side you plug it into. And I looking at the actual picture, I see where the sticker is on the original harness, and I'm like, okay, I've got that sticker too, so I know that it must go there. And I'm looking at the pins. Okay, it goes like this. And I fire it up, and the power LED comes on. That's gained voltage, and I'm getting nothing on my monitors. Shortly after that, I'm looking at like Jeff C's video, and I'm like, wait, he's saying that's pin 50, but on mine I realize it's actually fucking upside down. I plug it in the other way, and everything fires right up. So I'm like, okay, well, good. I didn't fry. I didn't have any boards plugged in, just the switcher. I didn't, because I was like, I don't want to fry anything. But okay, so that's working. Now I'm getting on the daughter boards that go on each PCB. I'm getting the power indicators, and so I plug in my boards, fire it up, and punch out comes on. I'm like, yes. I go to try switch, nothing happens. So then I swap boards. And I swap daughter cards and stuff. I'm trying different things. And so then I try Super Punch Out. Super Punch Out comes on. And again, like, I can't switch between games. So then I'm like, okay, screw this. I'm just going to plug just Punch Out in. And that works 100% perfect. All my controls work. Everything works. So then I plug in Super Punch Out. And only the buttons work. None of the joystick controls work. But then, like, I'd be pushing, like, to put my initials in, I'd be trying to push like left, and all of a sudden, like 3 seconds, 4 seconds goes by, and all of a sudden, like, it's like this huge delay, and then all of a sudden, all of my inputs for like the last 10 seconds happen at once. But Punch Out all by itself works perfectly. So I have no idea what the hell's going on. So I send this huge lengthy email to Vector Labs, because it's a $240 switcher, because you buy not only the switcher, which is $100, but then you need a daughter card for each board, which is $70 a pop. So I'm like, here's this massive. Meanwhile, I discover that Riddle TV has done basically a knockoff, and it's $100 for everything. Like,
that's what I have. I didn't even open it. I'm like saying I didn't pay that. It's sitting in a box.
yeah, I got the Vector Labs one because that was the first one I came across. I'm like, well, Vector Labs, they're well known. So, anyways, I sent out this email. It's like this of everything I did per the instructions, what's going on, what works, what doesn't. I tried that, and I'm telling Carrie, I'm like, I sure as shit hope that they don't respond and just be like, try this or try this. And it's this email back and forth game. And luckily that wasn't the case. They were basically, the guy said, well, it sounds like you did everything correctly. Would you mind sending it back to us? Well, I'll pay the return shipping to run some tests and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, great. So I sent that off. Meanwhile, I realized that I had a bit of some PayPal bucks. And I'm like, in the meantime, it's going to cost me like $40. I'm just going to get this Riddled TV one that actually looks way simpler than theirs. And it's, So I have,
but you're paying twice, aren't you? You're spending another $100. You just don't want to wait. I'm
spending another 40. No, I don't want to wait because I don't know how long it's going to be.
Well,
before,
you can sell the other one once they get it fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's simpler, like, all right, I lost some money, but whatever.
Well,
here.
So the Riddle TV one is just two cards. It's the main one. They both go on each PCB. One's the main one and the other's like the daughter card, and they just interconnect. Whereas the Vector Labs, it's the main PCB that connects to each daughter card on your PCB. So you've got
Am I gonna have to move everything around
boards.
with the Riddle TV one, or no? That was just or you still have to move stuff around, or maybe not.
Well, where are you mounting your boards? You said you.
I didn't do. Yeah, I'm gonna have them on either side of the cabinet, or is that not going to work?
No, that'll work because I think they said that the cable that comes with it, it's like 36 inches or something, which is way wider than the cabinet. It's plenty.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Just exactly on either side.
Yeah. Do you have your on your PCB cage? Do you have the cover on so that the card sticks out like that RF shield or whatever card sticks out like
no,
this?
I have those cards. I took it off because it's way easier.
I did too.
When I was fucking with, I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I swear I'm trying to get those fucking push pins in, and I'm like, and I feel like I'm going to break the board, and then I took them off. That's why I asked you. I go, why do I?
You don't need it.
Two sitting right here.
That's that's like a lot of games have to have those shields. I always pull them off. Same as Cheyenne. A lot of the Pac-Man games, things like that, like they all have those RF shields, but it's outdated, and the only thing it can cause you is more issues. So it's just good to pull that. But what I was going to say is that the reason that I was asking if you had that cover on is that I don't until I have that card, because the one is wider than the daughter card, and it may stick out too far that you can't even get the back door on. I don't know. In which case you would want to put the cover, that shield back on, because that would give you a 90 degree. But I don't know what the dimensions are of the main switcher board, but I think you'll be okay.
Wait, 90 degree. Mine doesn't. Wait, I got it right here. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so it redirects.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I guess. Oh, I hate this thing. I hate you. Fuck you. Oh, so much stress.
Yeah, you may not have to use that because I don't think it's.
There was two different ones.
Two.
So there's this one, and it had another board here, and then I have this, and then I have this one.
Yeah, that one's like the one I have.
I took this board off because it wouldn't even. It was like I felt like I was forcing it when I was trying to put it in, and then I don't know what the hell that was, but I have it. But I should actually put it with this because I don't know what the fuck it is. But I'm never going to use these again. I don't think, right?
Yeah, I mean, only if I have to.
They're for sale on eBay. People are selling these things.
Oh, no shit!
Why. Yeah, just this.
That's
probably
that's funny.
Or somebody will buy it thinking their game's not working because they don't have
it. So let's see what other issue, what other update can I give you? Oh, so after that whole switcher debacle, I plugged I'm like, all right, I'm just going to revert everything back so I can at least have a working game until I get the switcher fixed. So I move the power supply and stuff. I keep all my I have everything all laid out so I can throw it back the way it was if I move everything back to the way it was. I plug first I plug Punch Out in. I just want to make sure everything works great. Okay, I plug Super Punch Out, fire it up, everything's working, and then I realize that only half my sounds are coming out on Super Punch Out. Like literally one channel is completely gone entirely. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even I haven't even really done anything. And how can this cause any issues? It was just working kind of with switch. I mean, the sounds were there. And I'm just like fumed at this point. Carrie's kind of like, rolling her eyes and because she knows that I'm not going to sleep until this thing's fucking done. And I get, so I start hopping on threads. And because I obviously both audio amps are working just fine because Punch Out works 100%. And I'm looking at the board. I'm like, what the fuck could it be? And I find a couple threads. And one is that one common issue for this exact problem. Actually, I came up with a Clav thread that John Jacobson had way back when. And one of the symptoms or problems could be the CPU for the audio, which is coincidentally is like a Nintendo Versus CPU. It's the A203s, which Andrew's probably familiar with, all the Nintendo CPUs. And I'm like, hey, I've actually got an extra one of those because I've got all this Nintendo Versus shit. So I swapped that out. It didn't change it. I'm like, bummer. Then the other thread I found, they talk about 2 different ROM chips. I'm like, okay, now this is something I can also deal with because these Punch Out boards all use 2764s. Again, same as Nintendo Versus stuff. So I pull out one chip and read it with my ROM burner and throw it up on ROM ident, and it checks out just fine. Everything's there. I'm like, okay. Then I take the other one, which is like 4L or 4K or something. It's all by itself. And that reads blank. Completely blank. I'm like, what the fuck? So I pull the other one off I pull the one off Punch Out, throw it on there. All my sounds are back. So it's this one ROM. And so I ended up burning another one because they both share the same thing. And that's apparently where all that second audio is. And everything's hunky dory. But I'm like, how did this chip just go blank? Now, mind you, there's no sticker over the window on it. And all I can figure is that I've heard of this happening. It's maybe this is a first for me, but I was going through my cabinet and I'm wiring up all this stuff, and I have a big bright LED light, a big light that's going in there. And I've heard of people using like taking a picture with like a flash and stuff and wiping out chips that way. But I don't know how this chip just other than that, I don't know how this chip just went blank on its own, just because it read as a complete blank chip. There was nothing there. So anyway, so I got that all fixed, and then realized that neither one of my boards was saving scores any longer. That was that yesterday I was working on that, and I with Punch Out I was able to get that to work again. I had to just reflow some solder and make better connections. So it was kind of a simple thing. But then I could not figure out my Super Punch Out, and so today I actually messaged Adam, but I had already figured it out by the time he got back to me, and I whipped up a schematic. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at reading schematics, but I traced the battery, made sure the voltage was fine, and it was. But I traced the battery. I'm like, what chip is this going to? And figured out it was going to the static RAM chip that functions kind of like an NV RAM, and it stores everything. And swapped. I pulled that little IC off of Punch Out, which is saving the scores, and removed the one on both. Basically, removed it from both boards. I was going to swap them. But on the working one on my Punch Out, in the process, I broke a leg off. So I pulled the suspect off of Super Punch Out, threw it in Punch Out, and then Punch Out was no longer saving scores. So I know that
you're making me I feel awful. It just seems like so much work. Like you're having all these.
It's
issues.
so much fucking work. But anyways, it's a long-winded way of saying that RAM chip is bad, and so I ordered ordered a few, and I ordered some fucking sockets because I hate the shit that's just right in the board.
What's working now?
They both work. Like I can play both of them. You don't
you just
need
can't
that
save-
RAM chip. I just can't save
your-
scores.
And you can't sleep at night because you can't save scores.
Well, I gotta save. Yeah, until I can roll a game, I want to be able to. I want to be able to save scores. Plus, especially with Super Punch Out, you can record your time records for beating the opponents, and that's actually, to me, that's almost more fun than a high score because it's a speed run. You're trying to.
That's what
and that shows the
Bardelli's
top
a high
tier.
score guy, and that's why he said he didn't mind getting rid of the Punch Out, but he goes the Super Punch Out seems intriguing because you could. That what you're talking about. He likes all about records.
You get the high scores, but then you also get the at least for the first round of opponents, you get it shows the time.
Before
records.
I forget, the inside of the cabinet, right, to the left of your control panel, the interior sides.
Yeah.
Did you do anything to those? Did you laminate those or paint those?
Oh, the black on the
Yes.
innards?
Yes,
no,
the innards.
No, because they were pretty clean already.
Mine's got a little bit of I'll probably just paint it. It's like you're never gonna notice. It's like just a little bare wood showing. I don't know, something maybe for moving take a control panel on and off or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Scraped. I mean, it's not crazy bad, but I was gonna ask you because all right. Well, you didn't do anything. Wow.
Not on the innards. No,
that's amazing.
I looked at it. I'm like, it's kind of got that similar finish that we talked about with the outside of the original, and there's maybe like a little scuff here or there, but it's pretty damn. It was enough that I was like, no, for the amount of work of masking shit off and stuff, and I'd already done laminate. I was like, no. That's absolutely fine. That's
my bezel looks really good. Like I'm gonna just have to do what you did, and it'll be perfect. I don't even know if I have to go that bad. It's really good. I was looking at it today.
I ended up using that repro that the dude sent me because I compared them both, and they're both good. The original, I would be using the original happily if I didn't have that other one because buffing the surface off of it was
sell it. Somebody's probably needing that. What are you gonna do? You're gonna store that? You don't need it.
Yeah, I've got stored. Yeah, in case something happens.
In case somebody trips while they're giving you a knife to cut a steak, they trip and put a big scratch on.
That's right.
You never know what's gonna happen. Some kid comes over.
If anything's gonna happen, it's gonna be because I broke it.
That you didn't clean up and starts carving his name. Brian was here. Somebody's
no. It's gonna break because I'm gonna do something stupid. That's the biggest possibility. Is that I'm gonna be like trying to. Because I mean, like if it was gonna break, it would be because of something stupid I did. Like I was removing it and I put in a stupid place for the time being and trip over it or something.
Did you powder coat your super hang-on speaker grills as well? Or did you?
I didn't powder coat anything for Super Hang On.
No, you just painted.
I might have painted them. Yeah. I don't remember what I did all other than obviously the cowl, but I don't remember.
I got that extra Super Hang On. It's just so freaking big, and I keep moving it. I got to take it to my friend's auto body, and I'm gonna have him.
That game makes me paranoid every fucking time I move it. Not like just moving it across the carpet, but like. That cowl makes me nervous. Yeah, it's so easy to crack.
So, Dave, how's the Star Trek?
It's wonderful. It's in my parents' garage. I haven't
put it all together and fired it up.
No, I got to send this stuff out.
Okay.
We didn't even. And what's funny is my friend Donnie got another one. He's got one now as well. Yeah, we have, which I'm so glad. You know why? Because his has the canopy, so I can.
You can try to reproduce it.
Yes, but his doesn't. His is missing the seat, so same deal. But it's not like somebody, I know Donnie, and it's in Rochester, which is an hour away. So it's like instead of borrowing it from somebody that, in fact, I should go get it like immediately in case he decides he wants to sell it later. I don't want to hold him up and let me, I should do it now because he sent all his stuff off to be, bulletproofed to a guy, and but I haven't done anything. I mean, it's cool. I have I bought the art from this old game.
Yeah, and the way he lists it on the website, he doesn't put Star Trek there. He just puts ST. He doesn't want to get sued by Paramount.
Oh, I see. Jim told me he had like one last Super Punch Out marquee, and I'm glad he did because that got me. And I'm like, "Do you have this?" And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, do you have the Star Trek cat? Because I'm like, I just want to buy it because I know I'm gonna paint that captain's chair and it's got some like a cigarette burn. Hopefully, my friend at the auto body can make it all nice and pretty. Since I'm gonna take it there anyway.
Oh, so you did get another marquee, or you did get a marquee then from this
yeah.
game. Nice.
I was gonna put it on today, Carter. If it had worked, I would have put it on today, but it didn't work. So I go, we didn't. It's like I go,
that's a finishing touch for you.
Yeah. I go, don't unwrap it. My bulbs burn out, or it's slow. I need a new start or whatever. It's on the punch out. It looks like shit. I just don't. I gotta get change it. But he was all excited. Well, Dad, we don't have the sign. I go, yes, we do. It's right here, Super Punch Out. And then it was cute. And then, like I said, he thought I was a celebrity because I put that video of the Super Punch Out on YouTube today, and he saw me do it.
By the way, the text, when you text that to me, it shows up so tiny. I mean, granted, it was audio, so it didn't matter, but like the quality, like it shows up like all like. Just
I don't know why, because you don't have an iPhone, right? It's iPhone, right. It does, but I didn't put that video. I took another one, which is great because it shows the guy ducking. I'm like,
okay.
oh, so I took another one and sent it to, because also that one I did vertically. I never turned the, didn't do it horizontally. The camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how I can do that with somebody who doesn't have an iPhone. Anyone have any suggestions? It always seems people say your video's shit, and I'm like, no, it's not. If you have an iPhone,
maybe there's a setting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why it downgrades. Yeah, the quality.
Yeah.
When that.
Well, Dave, we know why it downgrades the quality because they do it on purpose.
Oh, because you don't have an iPhone, make you
right, exactly, and they want to make it so that it's and you show up. That's why you have show up. It's like your iPhone friends show up as a different colored dot or something as the people I like
the iPhone.
The group
messaging
doesn't.
Day.
Yeah.
I got an iPhone in 2011, and I've only had 3, and every one I've got was still running awesome. The only reason I switched is like the battery was getting a little weak. The iPhone 4, then I got the 6. And then what is Mark jumping this? He hates it. He hates it. I phone and Disney are in bed together. Fuckers.
Well, we've had moments. We've had moments. Oh, my dog's barking.
You're supposed to see Daryl Hannah's ass. This is bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
My rant. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And it's been proven also that Apple does program it to be shitty after the next phone comes out, and then the update comes out, and everybody's old phone is not quite as good as it was for some reason. They admitted they did tampering.
Should ask Whiskey.
That's fucked up.
But we digress. Dave, you were talking about why your son thought you were like a superstar or something. Like,
because
you were talking about the video.
Because he watches YouTube. He watches little kids stuff on his iPad, and he was there when I did the video, and I go, I'm going to put it on YouTube. And he's like, really? You have a channel? Like, he knew I had a channel, and he's like, Dad, you don't have a lot of likes. And I'm like, I go, Carter, I don't think any
subscribers either.
No, but then I showed him the the Fire Escape and then the Grakers tour. And he really wants the Simpsons, which I'm making. My friend Warren, we're making I don't know, did I talk about that? Making a custom main cabinet with the 2-player Simpsons with art and everything. I mean, shit, the art's $300.
Yeah.
That's the most expensive part of the thing.
Wow.
But he asked me yesterday, can we get a Simpsons game? Oh, and the Grakers video, he stopped it and paused it, came down, Dad, see, they have a Simpsons. And I'm like, oh, they don't anymore. I go, unfortunately, but like, he's so into it. He wants one so bad. And I'm pumped for this thing. I'm excited just to play some fighting games and, something.
Has he played it on a game system or anything that you have, or a MAME thing?
Oh yeah, he cleared it in MAME. And he played it at Fun Spot.
But he wants the original thing. He wants you to have an original.
No,
one.
but he played it at my friend's too. My friend Warren, the MAME guy.
Oh,
he played it he wants the original one, and I'm like, Carter, we don't have the room for that. Like, I don't want to dedicate
the money. It's expensive. I don't think.
Well, I had one. He doesn't know that. We bought it and sold it, but I don't have the room for it.
Yeah,
I got rid of my super. I don't have the room for that, but I have the room for a Spy Hunter cockpit and a Star Trek cockpit.
Yeah.
The
Choose
your
your problem.
But this is going to be small, and it'll fill a void. We can do some fighting stuff, and he can. it's going to be.
Simpsons.
It'd be kind of
Cabaret.
cool.
It is Simpsons Cabaret, two-player. It's Bart and
Nice.
Homer.
Yeah, could you do like a switcher in it where it was like you switch it and it goes to like Gauntlet or something? I probably wouldn't work with the monitors, right?
Oh,
That'd fuck stuff up.
the regular one. But I'm just going to go. I'm going to go the main route.
Oh, okay.
Two-
Yeah, because
the
you could do
two-player
like some really
custom
cool 4-player
Simpsons.
games, like you got NBA Jam. You could do Turtles. You could do,
Yeah, I just don't. If I had the space,
Simpsons.
it wouldn't be an issue. Get them a Simpsons. It's fine.
yeah.
And we figure something out to something with 2 buttons or make a custom whatever. But I don't have the space for a 4-player like that.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got rid of the
Unless you sell
Super
some
Off Road,
games.
it was like I felt like, wow, that's 2 games I could put in that space.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all of our
It's true.
problem. Space.
Dad,
I'm out
you
of
can put it in my
space.
room.
You're out of space. We're out of
He may want to put it in this room, and my wife might say okay, which is fine. I mean, it'll be
Right?
the coolest kid in his class in the 2nd grade. He got a full-size arcade game for Christmas, and I can't tell him, but he doesn't know this. If he does go in his room, that it's a TV. We can actually watch TV on it. We could watch Simpsons on your Simpsons because it's a smart, it's an Insignia, just cheap 24-inch smart TV open box for like $70. That's the monitor. But I'm excited to play like games like Ghosts and Goblins. He loves, and just some of the fighters. He's never even seen any of them. Really, we've never played. I don't think so. None.
You mean like brawlers, like Final Fight or something, or are you talking about?
Yeah, or
fighting
Mortal
games?
Kombat or Street Fighter,
okay,
or
those type.
can play
All right.
Double Dragon, or I'm just thinking like 8-player games that'll be, or 8-way joystick games that'll be, easy. But he's also going to play. He played Dragon's Lair and Dragon's Lair 2 at my friend's with the 8-way, and it seemed like it worked fine because maybe that's it's just it's not as there was no issues. I played it. It seemed like it was totally fine.
Oh boy.
God.
This
Is
is
this
such a
you, Dave?
phony-
Is for real?
No. Oh, it's Mr. Punch
Holy
Out.
Yay!
Right? Yay!
Where was he half hour ago?
Holy crap!
I was so expecting when
Moses.
I sent Adam that message about my score savings. I was like, oh, he's gonna see this and just roll his eyes. And it's like, would you quit asking me about? I don't do this shit. Yeah.
Hold on, let me get this. How does this work?
I like that hat, Adam. Don't you? I like that Atari hat.
Nice. I'm not regulars like you guys. I got to figure out how to get all this stuff
You actually
Oh,
sound
his microphone switched.
better or worse.
Quiet.
worse.
You sound
Yeah.
like you're in the mountains.
Yeah,
You're
you
far
sounded
away.
good at first.
Sound like you're flying above
that-
the city again.
Is that better?
Yes.
There
I'll
we
just
go.
leave it like that. Okay, cool.
Hey, it's great to see you.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Woo.
I was
A
getting
lot's
scared there
happened.
for a second. Oh no, is John coming onto this?
No.
Since you were here last. We've had a pandemic.
Yeah. How's everybody dealing
Wow.
with that?
I actually just got I tested negative. They were doing free. I thought I was actually going to be visiting my parents and grandpa. I've seen them a few times, but I wasn't sure if they still wanted to do Thanksgiving. So I was like, they started doing these free saliva COVID tests via the mail. They overnight it to you. It's completely
cool.
like you don't pay anything, and you go on Zoom, and the nurse, gives you instructions, and you have to open things up so that they can see. Otherwise, it's invalidated, and it gets overnighted back to them, and then you get your results in 24 to 72 hours. So we're just doing Zoom basically with me and my family. I didn't know that at the time, but I just got my that was a first and only test I've had done, and so I got the results yesterday, and they just
So
you
email it to
have to show them visually that you're taking the test. Just like, what do you get video yourself, or how's that work?
Yeah, it's Zoom. It's like this.
Oh, okay.
So yep, it's just one-on-one. You get put in like this waiting room. It's Zoom, but they don't pop up until they're ready, and they give you kind of an ETA. And so while that was, I was waiting for that. Me and Carrie were setting up like Christmas decorations and things, and so I had to keep kind of glancing over to see if the nurse had popped on, and because they had a long waiting time. It was like an hour or something like that, because right before Thanksgiving, I'm sure.
Right.
And so it comes in a little box, and there's explicit instructions in an email. Don't open up the tube yet, and it's actually, it was kind of convoluted there, because some things were saying don't open this or it'll be invalidated, but in order to get this code, you had to open it up. So it was a little confusing, but basically, yeah, it's a big tube that you spit into, and it's a shit ton of saliva.
How'd you like that job, to be the guy on the other end who just sits there all day long watching people, GMQ tips up
right?
their nose
I actually asked her about that. I did ask her about it. Was funny when she popped on, because she's like, whoa, I don't know where you're at, but I love it. It's like, oh, this is my yeah. It was really funny.
Wait,
she was telling me,
when the test tube, or did you just swab with the cheek?
No, you have to spit. In fact, it's a lot. Like, I was parched afterwards.
Oh, really? I've had
it's a tube that's like it's a tube that's like this long, and you have to fill it up to like a line that's like up to here, and that doesn't include the bubbles. Like, that surpassed. Like, she was very very specific, and it's just like, she's like, I'll step away for a couple minutes and I'll come back. And because I'm just in here, I'm like, Jesus, I don't have any more. Yeah. And but yeah, and then it gets, there's this little solution, and yeah, you put this cap on, it's got this like bluish liquid that you shake it up, and it gets sealed, and then you have to the last instruction is you have to take the included alcohol wipe and wipe down the outside of the UPS package, and then drop it off at the UPS store. And when I went there was a line of people, but the dude recognized the packaging. He's like, oh, you can just put it in that giant bag. There's a huge bag from other COVID tests, and you just drop it off in there. So
don't lick the bags.
Yeah, exactly. In other words, we don't want to have to touch that gooey thing. Yeah. And it says biological material or something like that on the outside too.
Yeah, it does. It's something like that. Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Well, think about it. There's a big bin full, and there's some of them that are going to be positive, right?
Yeah, know. That's why you don't lick them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but otherwise, but it was pretty easy, and it was just super convenient and easy to do. So,
and especially
it was kind of comforting. I like, me and Carrie have seen each other, but other than her, I really haven't been around anyone other than like my parents once in a great while.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. How about you?
Good. No, I mean, we've been doing everything from home. The kids are doing school from home. I've been working from home. In fact, I just got an email that said, you know what, don't come back until July. And so,
oh shit,
yeah. So they're being extra safe, and so everybody that I've been working with, we've all been home, and as I'm sure most of you guys, if not all you guys, are doing the same thing. Yeah. In
fact, we had a mandatory.
I work in a restaurant.
We had a meeting where they were saying, like, optimistically, best case scenario, we might return in June, maybe.
Right. I was gonna say
that's
maybe mid next year or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see.
Hopefully, if everything goes all right.
I mean, they'll have the vaccine, but I imagine they're gonna give it to the people who need it absolutely.
Oh yeah, hospital workers first.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff.
Old people and homes.
High risk.
You mean they're not gonna use the military to shoot it into a cloud so that we all have to get rained on?
Yeah. Put it in the water supply. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's like fluoride.
What's that? Was it X-Men 3 where they had the serum and the shotguns and they were shooting?
Oh yeah,
shooting people with syringes. Boom, boom. They
plastic guns and plastic bullets.
Just drive around shooting people with the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't believe in vaccines? Tough.
Yeah. Vaccinated.
There's going to be people that aren't going to want to do it. And,
well, yeah.
Remember my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Everyone will get green stickers that say "I vaccinated."
Yeah.
We all can't have babies like 100 years from now because of a shot we did for COVID.
Yeah.
Messes us up. You never know.
6 eyes. It's like those Simpsons fish and have like 3 or 4 eyes. But
Yep. So
You little
I want
waste
the
of kids,
95%
not something to play with.
it's good to have you back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good to be
Sam.
back. I mean,
Yes.
it sucks that I can't join you guys regularly, you know, having to get up really early for work. So times like this, I'm actually taking the week off.
Oh, nice.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm
For
trying
Thanksgiving.
to take the opportunity to get on and see how everybody's doing.
Weeks off. I remember those.
Adam, can I ask you
Barely.
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I crazy, or did I see a picture you posted? I believe it was on Facebook. Were you skydiving?
Oh, paramotoring. Flying a paramotor.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
so what's
all.
a paramotor? I have
So, yeah,
lost-
are you guys familiar with paragliding? Paragliding is
Yes.
you kind of have a parachute, or at least it looks like a parachute, and you jump off of a mountaintop and you float around. So paramotoring is it's based on the same principle, but instead of having to find a mountain to jump off of, you basically have a fan on your back, small 2-stroke motor with a fan on your back.
Ah.
Those
And
look
then
fun.
that allows you
Yeah.
to take off from like a field, you know, at a park or something like that, and you can you know, take off wherever you want and fly around, and then you can come to land, you know, at the same field and stuff. So
How long
how
have you been
high
doing
can you
that?
go up in those?
I started training a couple years ago, but because of my busy work schedule, and my instructor is also an engineer, and he had a busy work schedule.
Oh.
It was just hard for us to find time to meet. So rather than be able to nail out all my training in a given summer, it took actually 2 summers. So it took a while, but this spring was when I finally finished all my training, and he kind of gave me his blessing, said, you know, go off and you're good enough to go on your own now. And
Fly,
this-
bird, fly.
yeah, pretty much. That's what they say. You know, you've left the nest. You know, you can go fly by yourself now. And so yeah,
I saw your wristwatch, so I was wondering, that looked like a altitude watch.
Altimeter, yeah, it was it's a
altimeter, yeah, that's
Garmin.
the
What is
word.
it? It's a
Yeah.
Garmin. What is it? A Garmin Phoenix, I think.
One of those
Millimeter
grown-up words.
measure.
Yeah. Height measurer, right? You
Yeah,
got one of them
yeah.
height measurers on your wrist there.
So I thought you were jumping out of a plane because you were up really
No.
high looking at it in your picture. You know, it's just a
Right.
picture of your arm looking at it. I was like, holy, oh my God, he's high.
So
up.
what's the max altitude you can get on that thing, or that you're allowed to?
Yeah, so I that's a good question. I want to say it's somewhere up in like 18,000 feet before
No shit.
you reach a certain airspace that's you know
Restricted.
technically illegal, but you can't breathe at that altitude without oxygen anyway, and so people don't really fly that high. I mean,
And
I
your
think-
motor would probably stop working too.
Yeah, well, I think it would still run. I mean, I've seen people do it where they have these small oxygen tanks, and
my
but it's really
gosh.
just to see how high they can get. The highest I've ever been actually was that day I went to like 3,200 feet. And there's a huge misconception that the higher you go, the more dangerous it is, but it's actually the opposite. You know, altitude equals time, and so if you're thousands of feet in the air and something goes wrong, you have time to sort it out. You know what I mean? Because as you're falling, but if you're 100, 200 feet in the air, there's nothing you can do. You just have no time, and so
I think they call that a miracle on the Hudson a couple of years back.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
you
I
go.
saw that you had something go wrong and you were able to like an engine go out or something like
my
that.
motor
Motor, yeah.
stalled for whatever reason, but you know, that's another misconception too. People freak out about it, but you know, when I go to land and I'm looking at the field, okay, I'm ready to land, I just kill my motor, and you just glide gently to your landing spot. So having the motor go out is not bad at all, as long as you've got a place to land. And so where I fly typically is areas where I know there's lots of pasture and fields around me, so that if at any point in time I lose power or my engine stalls for whatever reason, I can't get it going again, I can safely land. You know,
Just
and
watch
it
out
goes-
for the cow pies.
There you
That's
go.
fun. I've thought about getting back when I was big into aviation and flying and stuff to get my private pilot's license. I was all about, like, I really like the idea that of the ultralights, because you don't need a license and you can and there's so many variations of those. When you go to like Oshkosh for the air shows, and there's a whole entire park that's just tons of people with their ultralights. That's what they call anything that's basically not a plane. You know, all the smaller stuff like when Adam flies, you could call that an ultralight.
It is an ultralight. Yeah, it falls under the same jurisdiction. Yeah, of ultralights.
Yeah, that stuff's cool.
It's so much fun. So much on a beautiful sunny day after work. You know, when you're you're shot because of all the stuff that you had to take care of that day, to just hop in the car and go buzz around for an hour or two, and then
Now is yours like a kit then that you just put together, or is that already all ready to go? Like
all ready to go. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't really, they don't really sell them in the US, probably because people are afraid of, legal, retribution or whatever. But you can, there's dealers in the US that will sell you a paramotor, but most of them come from, France and Italy and places like that. Yugoslavia actually makes some pretty good ones too, I believe. So yeah, I have an Italian made paramotor by a company called Fly Products, and then my glider, I don't know where my glider's from, but they're probably the number one glider manufacturer, Ozone, and they make free flight gliders, which is what people fly when they jump off the mountains and they're just floating around, in thermals and things like that. And they also make paramotor gliders, which is what I have. Yeah. So
Yeah, Mark just posted a good video.
What's
That
that?
is a really good
Mark
video.
just posted a good video.
The
Guy flew his
IRC, I don't know how to
paramotor
see
to McDonald's.
Yeah, the
Oh,
guy
yeah,
flew
that's
to
the guy,
McDonald's
yeah.
and left. Yeah.
Tucker God, I think is his name. He's kind of he's the guy. I mean, I guess in any hobby, there's always one guy who kind of is the epitome of the hobby, and he's the epitome of, for paramotoring. He was a young guy who got training and just absolutely fell in love with the sport, and he made a video, and it just went viral, and he just became a star. And so that's his full-time job now, is to make paramotoring videos.
Funny. It's
But
actually pretty cool
he's
how
great
he
at
films it and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
it feels
he
like you're
gets so
flying
much-
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
So
fun
he
video.
actually inspired me to get into the sport. I thought,
Oh,
I had
wow.
looked around.
Okay.
I had looked around at different types of ultralight aircraft. I still love rotary aircraft like helicopters and gyrocopters and all that kind of stuff. But the price was just way out of my range. And then I would see these little videos come up on YouTube for paramotors, and to me it just seemed like, I don't know, like a sissy way of flying. And I had seen some people do that years ago, but technology has come so far. I mean, these gliders are wicked sporty. You can whip them around, and you can do all sorts of fun stuff with them, and go so much faster than you could previously. So it definitely caught my attention. Then when I saw a couple of Tucker's videos, I was like, all right, that's it. That's what I want to do. So
is there any issues or things you have to worry about, like flying into drones? Like, I mean, can you totally see them ahead of time to avoid them if there was one flying around?
Yeah, I mean, the area that I fly is close to a small public airport. So I mean, I always keep my head on a swivel. Just try to be aware of your surroundings and things like that. I don't know of too many drones that are up, 1,500, 2,000 feet. And most of the drones are below that, I would think.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's so you always got to be aware of your surroundings and that sort of thing. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've seen planes kind of, just on the horizon or buzzing around, and you just gotta be aware of them.
Okay.
And some people have communication where they can actually listen to the aviation band and hear chatter and stuff like that, just to know that they're
like Iron Man. You say check the.
There you go. Yeah. But they had like a hot air balloon thing going on the past couple times that I've been out. There's an organization nearby where they take people up. You pay them a few bucks, and they'll bring in a little tour of the Pioneer Valley, which is the area that I live. It's on the Connecticut River, so it's real pretty, especially in the autumn. And so there's been a few times where I've gone up and there's been all these hot air balloons, and you can go right up close to them and just buzz around them and circle them and wave and do all that.
So Adam, I missed the beginning. You have this thing that this McDonald's guy's doing? You have
yeah, paramotor.
How high are you flying? What's the altitude?
I like to buzz around 1,200, 1,500 feet. But I'm getting more comfortable getting higher and higher. Yeah.
What's the flight time?
It depends on the engine, like anything else, because different engines consume fuel at different rates. It depends how heavy you are and how efficient your glider is. So there's a lot of variables. My particular rig, I can go about an hour with a gallon of gas, and my tank is about 3.5 gallons. So if I wanted to, I could buzz around for 3.5 hours. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh wow!
And some people do that. Some people, they'll get a Google Maps and they'll say, "Show me all the public airports." There's one here, there's one 4 towns over, and there's another one over there. And they'll plan. Well, they'll just hop from public airport to public airport, and make a little day out of it. They'll just do like a little,
Nice.
the trip. So
He's even eating the McDonald's while he's flying.
Yeah, while he's flying. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
you don't have to,
he
have,
eats
to
it
have
while
a
he's
flight
driving
plan and
back.
clear it with like ATC and buy you, or
No.
no, you're not in a flight. You don't if you're below a certain altitude.
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah. Well, if you fall under the ultralight clause, then you don't need to deal with any of that stuff. You can just go up and buzz around. Yeah, I mean it's all on you. You're the one assuming the risk and everything.
How old are your kids? Don't you have older children like in college?
20 and 18. Yeah.
Have they been up solo or no?
No, I brought them out kiting. Kiting is basically just playing with the wind, playing with the wing, the glider on a like a slightly windy day, because you can get it above your head and you can get the feel of it. It'll actually almost want to pull you off the ground. So I brought my son and daughter doing that, but for whatever reason, everybody's wired differently. But he just hasn't really had a passion for it, and I'm not pushing him either. But he likes to go out and kite and stuff. Like there's been days where it's been a nice breeze and he's running through the field and I can just push him from behind and he'll get airborne. He'll come off the ground a couple feet and float and then he'll hit the ground. But he hasn't, if it was me and I was that age, I would have been like, I am so into this, Dad. Let's do this. But he hasn't expressed that kind of interest. So, yeah.
What does a paramotor cost for the whole rig and the?
Yeah, you can get in on the
shebang?
cheap for like $5,000. The cheapest ones are around $5,000, and then the more expensive ones,
I don't want too
like
cheap.
the one.
Yeah,
So
that's
the one
what I was gonna say.
yeah, right.
I don't want to get the Walmart special of this.
Right.
I mean, that's definitely
The one that Tucker
plastic.
has.
Made one up.
Yeah,
The
right.
glue isn't all the way dry on that
I
one.
don't want to get the Black Friday
Also would, right?
sale of
Big
last
rubber
year's
band
model.
with a prop, right?
Yeah. Is that
Okay.
IKEA where I don't need instructions? I just use pictures to put together.
Right. So yeah, the cheapest one is about $5,000. The most expensive, which is the one that Tucker has, by the way, is about $8,000. Yeah, close to $9,000. It's
So
all
a pin.
carbon fiber and everything else, and so it's like any
Price of,
sport.
price of a decent pin. All right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm
I'm
like,
gonna
you
sell
heard,
my
like,
Wonka and get a
price
paramotor.
in your apartment,
Paramotor.
or you could fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
fly.
After you watch that video that I just posted of flying to McDonald's, it
Yeah.
looks so freaking fun. I was like
You-
so
the re-
jealous watching
If you,
that. Going, oh, that
yeah,
looks
I
like a
guess
blast.
the best ones to look at. There's a team of guys, and Tucker was one of them. My instructor was one of them actually too. He flies with Tucker. They went out and took several trips to Iceland. And so if you go on to
Oh,
YouTube
wow.
and you type paramotor Iceland, those are the absolute best videos.
Beautiful,
Those
I
are
bet.
just
I'll have to check that
phenomenal
out.
videos. Holy cow.
I watched a
Um,
couple. I didn't see that one. I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah,
But
the guy
yeah,
the
it's
guy who
great.
invented the guy who he started a company, and I think he's the only one right now that makes a pure carbon fiber paramotor, top of the line. That's the one that Tucker flies. It's a company called Scout Paramotor, and they're the ones making those videos. They take a whole team of their guys and they bring them out to these exotic places like Iceland and other places, and they
Good sales
go-
pitch.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, that's
It's like
really
a fancy
cool.
car commercial.
Right.
Instead of driving through the mountains, like, no, let's fly through the mountains.
Yeah,
How's
it
the
is
paramotor-
something.
How's
It's
that
definitely
price
something.
compared to like a ultralight?
Yeah.
Well, it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's
Oh, you
so
mean-
it is a type of ultralight, but like the glider, like the fixed wing type gliders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I gotta say it's cheaper. That was one of the reasons.
I would think so.
The reason I got into paramotoring was it was the absolute cheapest, and in my opinion, it was the absolute safest of all the ultralights.
Sure.
Because in any other ultralight, if you lose power, you got to find a place to land like quick, and it has to be a runway that you can land on. Where this thing, I mean, you could land in somebody's backyard if it was big enough, And
Right.
so for that reason, those were the couple of reasons why I really went for the paramotor approach.
That's awesome.
You
Yeah,
can
it's a good
fly, man. That's awesome. You're Iron Man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's amazing. Wow. I never even knew this thing existed until now. It's pretty neat.
Now you know.
Mhm. So, Adam, have you picked up any games in a while or anything interesting
I'm trying to think if I picked up anything recently. I don't think I
in
have.
the last year or so?
You still play games? Do you
Have
still like
I was
them?
gonna say, have
Don't
you played-
own any?
Have you played anything? What have you been playing?
I haven't been playing games. I mean, we've been playing. My son and I. He's been into the pinball a lot. He's been playing a lot of Roadshow and a lot
Awesome.
of Shadow.
Mm.
But
Those are good.
when I when I before the job I have now, I worked for IBM for many years, and they had a like top of the line foosball table, and we used to just spend every day after lunch playing that. And so that's always been a love of mine. So I did pick up a real nice Dynamo foosball table, and him and I play that a lot.
Sweet.
No spinning
So-
though. You can't spin.
No,
Can you
no,
spin? No.
like
Is
legit
that a
rules.
rule?
Yeah,
You can't.
Oh yeah, you can't just sit
It's
there
yours-
and do this. I mean, that's
Is yours a
any
single
monkey can
goalie
do
or
that, right?
or the like the soccer style tables with the triple goalie, or do you have or is yours the single with the Rams?
It's got the single, and then I think in front of that it's got, is it 2 or 3? I think it's got 2.
Three.
Three?
Or no, it is. Yeah, it is
I
a
don't
single and then
remember.
2.
Yeah,
No, it is a
okay.
single then 2. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And then do you have the ramps in the corners then?
No, we don't have the ramps in the quarters. No.
You
Oh,
shouldn't
interesting.
post
Okay.
that.
You know,
fucking
I'm
love
like
foosball.
a bar foosball player, but I've seen when you see someone who knows how to play foosball, it's like fuck.
It's
they know how to
fun.
play foosball.
We thought
It's
we,
amazing.
knew what
When
we
you're
were doing. We thought
scoring
we were
from-
all cool, and then at work, and then this one guy who worked in a bar, and all day long he would just play, and people would show him how to play, and he destroyed us, and we
Yeah,
were just
it's
mesmerized
Shots
by
that you
this
didn't
guy.
think were even
Oh,
possible.
yeah,
You
and
can't even
angles,
see the
angle
ball.
shots. He would
You can't even
calculate
see the ball
angle.
hit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You can't even see the
totally.
ball. Like
From the
yeah.
goalie, he would
Can't
be
see
from
the
the
ball,
goalie,
can you,
and you just hear
Yeah.
you'd hear it ram into the. He would hit it so hard it would go from his goalie across into the other goalie, and then bounce back onto the playfield. It was just, this guy was just incredible. Oh, he was just.
I've seen
yeah.
a guy like that. That's
I
why I,
remember
was
when
like, whoa.
We
this
played a
is-
lot in college. That was when I thought I was. That was when, as far as my potential goes, that was about the peak of it. And then like years went by because they had one in my friends had one in their townhome when we were all in college, and so we just played all the time.
Yeah.
There's those humbling moments where I remember going to like a bar. And then I was playing and doing pretty good. And then someone steps up that's been played in like every tournament and stuff. And you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to play this game
shots,
now.
shots that you didn't even know you could make, right? Or
Right.
Or passing
Or,
it between different guys in a certain way. You're just like, holy cow! Like, didn't even think of that.
I just remember shots where I'm like, I don't know what just happened. Like,
Yeah.
like
I mean, we
like,
always
can I
thought
see
you
that
had
in
to
slow
hit.
motion?
You had to hit the guy. You had to get in front of the ball and hit it, right?
Yes.
But guys will do these pull shots or these push shots where you're actually, you're moving your guy this way. The ball is moving with the guy, and then as you pull down, you rotate the guy just enough to get behind the ball, and then push forward. So you're head to head with this guy, and you slide the ball down faster than you can see it though, and just curl it right around the guy and get by him. It's just like, holy cow!
Yeah,
Some
it's
amazing moves. So we've
It's
been doing
pretty
that.
incredible.
We've been playing that a lot, and he's been playing pinball and stuff. So
Now let's see. Now you got me
cool.
wanting to fly and get a foosball table.
get a foosball table.
I don't have the room for it. But
Let's start a fly
is
club.
fun.
The biggest the games that get the biggest play in my game room are the foosball table and the air hockey, because it's just random and it's
Oh,
just
sure.
two people just having fun and just, you know what I mean.
that's music to Carrie's ears.
Yeah.
Now,
Doesn't
do you
matter
have
how
that
old
thing?
you are.
John
Love
once
me some air
he said
hockey.
there was the foosball or the air hockey has like a sandpaper thing where you can scuff up the puck. Did you ever see? He on one of the he was
No.
talking about. Yeah, he was talking about like the guys who are like super into it, like on the side. Oh yeah, to rough it up
Oh,
or
okay.
something, or like because it'll be like nicks, from all the stuff to smooth it out. That's what.
Oh,
it was.
okay.
Because it'll take like damage.
Yeah.
John once, I don't know why I just thought of that. Well, because you're in his house right now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
and it made me think of, because he said, I'm like, what, really? Because that was huge.
yeah.
Air hockey was big.
Yeah.
Fun Spot still has some, but I haven't. My son and I used to play at the little arcade that we went to, but I loved it as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I
it's
got
just-
it. Yeah,
Just
so
the
much fun.
sound, ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. It's awesome.
So mine I think is like a full 4x8, if not bigger, and it's a stainless steel top. It's a legit commercial table. But when we got it, it had been sitting, dormant for so long that dust and stuff collected on it. And I don't know if you've seen one of these things, but every square inch there's a hole, and every single one of these damn holes was plugged up. And so my
Huh.
wife and I had needles, and we're just sitting there, and we're just spent
Oh,
hours
man.
just getting cleaning. But what a difference it was like, because you try to hit this thing and the motor would be cranking and the thing would go for a little bit and it'd slow down and stop. It was just so frustrating. And then once we did that, you could feel the air just rush through.
It's like
it.
a vacuum cleaner that's plugged.
Right.
Yeah.
You
I
get
want to
no
see
air.
like right after you did that and then you turn it on for the first time and to see the clouds of dust. shoot
Oh,
up.
that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Boom. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just like the vacuum cleaner after you clean it out. And,
I love this
stick
game.
everything back in. It's like,
Oh, God.
Good
yeah,
time.
well, any of you who have seen me play arcade games that are video games that I enjoy playing, you know that it can be a little like I really put the full force and weight of myself behind playing the games, and it's very much the same with air hockey because I love air hockey,
Right.
and inevitably, like I walk away with bruises on my leg because I'm like.
Oh.
They just slam into the cabinet.
We've done where we like, the table has it's a rectangular table and you get so into it you don't realize that you have your hand on the side of the table and you're doing this. Yeah. And then somebody else will hit the puck and come right into your fingernail.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, I've done that. It's sucks.
Brutal. Yeah.
I have air hockey downstairs, and if you get one of those pucks just right, those things are like flying little flat bullets. So we have round ones, an octagon, and a triangle thing. And if you hit that triangle thing just right, and if it pings up on that edge,
get airborne.
You're getting it right here.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I still have my teeth.
Yeah, I don't think that those are legal in the States. I think the lawyers have helped make it so that we only have the round ones. That sounds weird.
They still have jarts in Canada, so
little ninja stars, right?
Yeah, they have lawn darts.
Well, there's a dent in my wall downstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a dent to this day in the wall downstairs from a road
through your
puck
hand.
that
What?
went-
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love this game.
Yeah.
It's like, who thought that was a good idea? Family
Where's my
picnic.
front
Let's just
teeth,
throw
Mom?
these things, 20 feet in the air with a point on them. Something's gonna go bad.
I used to like
Jarts,
we called
they
them.
still make it, or the new one, the old one, or the revamps didn't have the points; they were just flat.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Still worked. I mean, it's just.
I used to like we called it Bubble Boy hockey. It was basically super checks or whatever we played in college.
Oh, dude, guys are good at that.
Yeah.
When guys are good at that, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And we used to just get such a kick out of it because of the distorted national anthem that plays when you put a quarter in, and it's just so bad.
Have you seen the new one?
That's so bad.
Boo!
No.
Right, you can hit the button. Boo!
Boo! Yeah, that was the biggest thing as a kid. Have you seen a new one? We went to Fun Spot this summer, my family and I, and then I looked over and these people were playing it. I'm like, there's an LED, screen on it and the sounds. I'm like, whoa, they upgraded. Like it was amazing. It's the same game, but it was like real night, with the.
That's too fancy. You need
I know. I almost had my.
It's like or skee ball.
Yeah, my kids played it at a bowling alley about a year ago, and they loved it. And then I said, there was like one of those bounce. Well, here we had these bounce house places. I don't know if that was a nationwide thing. Somebody buys a big and puts like 20 bounce houses in them. And then, they charge admission. They had games. And my son was still having baseball over the summer. And it was right next to this. And I see a trailer out front. And I go, hold on. I want to go and talk to them because I bet you they're closing. And I want to see if any of their games are inside. Because they used to have a Simpsons pinball party. Like if they were just dumping. I didn't know if they owned any or they were operators. But he did have the owner was there. And I'm like, hey, he goes, yeah, it's me. He goes, we're closing this one. We're keeping the one like 30 minutes away. We close, this sucks for all we build up this business and the pandemic's killing us. But we're still going to keep that one. But he had a checks and had a man down. It was a broken guy, but I was hoping he was going to come back. He wanted $1,000, which was a great price, but not a Dave price. Cause you can still buy those guys.
Yeah.
No, I would have, because I don't have the room, but I would have bought it for the summer and we could have played it in my garage and then sold it after the summer. Because I don't have room for that. But in the garage, in Buffalo, we make our garages living rooms, or some of us during the summer months, because then you park your car in it, whatever. But it wasn't a Dave price. And he was like, because he's like, yeah, I'd actually sell that because I have another one at the other location. I don't need this one, but there's a broken guy, but you can get those guys. And then, well, let me think about it and I'll call you. And he's like, Dave, I give it to you for $1,000. And I'm like, oh, that's a good price, buddy. But yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. But no, I can't. I wanted $500. I wanted 500. I'll play it, get the guy fixed and make 200. We can use, but that might be a push, or I might even, I don't know, but it was in nice shape. That's besides
there was
the
a real
bench.
nice one that was in Boston, which is a little drive for me. It's like an hour and 40. And somebody had left it in a home that they were renting, and the landlord wanted it out of there. And he put an ad on Craigslist, and I jumped on a beautiful shape. He wanted $150 for it because the next day people were moving in, and we had an ice storm that day. I was the first person to respond, and he's like, "It's yours for $150."
I would have put chains on your tires, man, for that.
I mean,
get a
it was
snowmobile
horrible
with a trailer.
ice storm that day, and I was like, I had to decline. There's just no way I could make that trip out there. And,
I didn't think a paraglider could lift that much.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
pick it up in a storm on a paramotor.
The big bubble.
Nice
Then
gust of
drop
wind,
it
and
on
next thing
your
you know,
drop
you're
it
at
on your
LAX.
ramp that you have your pulley system that
Right.
Adam, I was at I think I have a video of it. I was at a guy's this guy he lives about an hour away. He's kind of a hoarder, but and it's weird too. He's got an amazing collection, but he like I think all of them are like running MAME, or a lot of them are all his games. Like he has a barn full, like it's really neat. But he had your system. Like,
did he really?
Yeah, but he had it like, you know, on hinges, and he puts it down, and it's a flat thing, and we just hooked it right up to the because I traded my Targ, which nobody wanted, for that pole position that's in the back. I traded that, and he lifted it up and put it in its spot, and I was like, dude, I know somebody who did the same thing. You know,
what a lifesaver that thing has been.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was like, and he goes, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, this guy that he did the same thing. This is wild." But he had it totally, you know, over his stairs.
Yeah,
the stairs were but it was like huge, you know, pieces of plywood on hinges, like you, and he like a hook to hold them. He had it. I can't remember yours exactly, but he just lowered it and put it right on the
hand truck or whatever, and
it went right up to plywood. You know, boom. And not the game itself. It was like, wow.
The biggest game I brought up, I think, with that was my Versus dual system, the upright one, which is, you know, the monster. That thing was a monster, and I just flipped it on its side and did one of these and hit the button, and it just went right up with no problem. Yeah.
Is there a weight? What's the weight limit on that thing?
It's 2,000-pound winch.
Oh, you know? God, yeah, it's not 2,000 pounds.
Yeah. Especially since it's on the angle too. I mean, even if it was, but yeah, you could just it'll just go right up, and then once it gets to the top, I just bring it right in the door and then find a home for it somewhere. So
cool.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it when he did it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's going up in the barn."
So I just put that video of your ramp in chat there, so people can see what we're talking about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, man. I like that ramp.
How are you guys doing? I forget how you guys do. Are you doing the chat on YouTube? Is that how you're doing it?
There's an IRC.
Okay, I saw it. I got it right here. Yep. Gleek table. Gotcha.
So, Adam, you're not doing any game repair like you used to at all anymore?
I
just burn out of it. You did it for so long.
No, that's not it at all. It's just I don't have the time. I absolutely love doing the repairs. I love doing the videos. I like repairing the games more than I like playing them. I just love the technology. I love that stuff. Just, I don't know. It just gets me going. I love that kind of stuff. But my work is so demanding on my time. And so that's one of the reasons why I just can't do it, is partly because of the time. And then the other part is too, it's like, you spend, 8 to 10 hours a day doing hardware design, and then, to turn that off, eat dinner, and then go back to doing more hardware design or fixing hardware. Just like, you're just so shot, you're mentally shot. Just like, I don't want anything to do with that. I just want to unplug and go do something completely different.
That's every trade, every business.
Exactly.
Last thing I want to do, I work in a restaurant. Last thing I want to do when I come home is cook food. I want something out of the freezer, open the box, into Chef
Yeah.
Mike.
So where's the pole position? I was kidding.
Right. No.
Oh, I hear you though. It's like when I get home, I don't want to like do any animation and crud, you know. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
like- or with
Yeah.
COVID, you're home already, but you're in front of the computer all day, and it's like I don't really want to sit and do more computing.
Yeah, my father-in-law is a
Yeah.
home builder, and he spent his entire career building these big, beautiful homes. And when I would go over and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, go over to her house, whatever, and there's like molding that's missing. There's things that drywall
That's
hasn't been
everybody.
finished. It's just
Everybody's in
like,
construction. It seems
yeah,
like
they just
it's it's either their house is amazing or
Yeah.
it's like the worst one on the block.
right. Yeah.
And the guy just
And then they retire, and then it's like boom, this big transformation, and they can, you know what I mean. Then it's not a burden for them to focus on it. So
Oh yeah, Adam, that pole
Phone-
position doesn't work, by the way. So
It doesn't.
No, the boards are sent to a guy in Austin, or everything. I sent the power supply, the everything transformer. But my CPU board has tons of. I sent him 3 CPU, and they had corrosion on all of them.
corrosion.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't, and I'm like, all right, we'll see if we can get you another one. He goes, I'll try and look too. But that was like in May. I already paid him, which is fine. Couple $100 or
I
whatever it is.
I never take payment until the job is done, and I send
This was
a
an
video, and
eBay
then I would
thing.
send it back. Oh, okay.
It was like you buy this
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I'm not in a rush. I know
Yeah.
what it is. I'm just trying to find another CPU board that doesn't have acid damage to send it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'm like, does anyone have one that's not fucked up? You
Yeah.
know, and I'll send it to this guy because I'd like to play it.
Right.
I don't have any driving games. I mean, but it's in
Yeah,
nice
for me,
shape. And
I'm the type of person where money is a motivator, obviously, right? And I think it is for everybody. And so I know myself, and I know that if I was to take payment before I start the work, that would kill my motivation right there, at least in part to do the work. And so for me, I need that carrot at the end, and so I like to hold off and even hold off until I send a video to the person and say, yeah, it's working. Is this cool? Does it look good for you? And then, yep, that's fine. And then they send payment my way or whatever.
yeah, somebody just repaired. It's funny. I have 2 different repair guys that have punch out videos for my boards. Yours was the original, and then the new one that I sent tons of acid damage. So I was just telling them, between the board I sent you that you fixed and the one I sent this guy to make a super punch out,
Right.
it looks like I wiped my ass with the super punch out board, because it's like the one I sent you was so clean. I pulled it out. I was
Right.
like, God, this thing looks like new, but this one was bad. So he had to do a lot of stuff. Like he put like jumper wires from like some of the interconnect board, like it's not even going all the way down because he had like. And then it had a few issues, but I don't blame the guy. I mean, it was working, and then it's here, and it's fine. But but yeah, it's definitely not as nice as, once again, that acid damage. So much. I thought he was going to say you couldn't fix it, and then he said, "No, I got it. I can do something with it."
It got to the point where I had to ask people to send me a picture beforehand, because certain things, a little bit of damage is okay. You can work around. If I got to do a couple of jumper wires or whatever, but exactly what you just said, there was 1 or 2 times where I got bit, and I said, "Yep, you're next in the queue," and they'd send me their board, and I'm just looking at like, holy cow, like it was just like ridiculous the amount of damage that was done, and it just took me forever to figure out all the traces that were screwed up and hand fix them all. It was just too much. So
yeah, it is what it is. I don't blame him, and just go, if he comes back and says, I'm like, all right, just can you hold on to it, and I'll try and find another, if I can find one that's not as acid damage, we'll go from there. I mean, but he did get it working, and he, because I had the security board, and then I bought the color proms from Mike's Arcade. And he says, "No, I can burn the ROMs for you. You don't have to worry about that." And then, but he showed the video of it working, and I got it here. And there was some other issues, audio, and then the guy kept ducking.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like, I'm not even touching the joystick, and it works fine in a Punch Out. Like I played it because I did the conversion Mike's Arcade thing for the new control panel, and I'm like, let me see. All right, it's working. And then he's ducking. I'm not even touching anything. He's ducking, besides the hum from the audio.
Yeah.
But he's cool. He said, "I'll just send it back, man. It's all good."
That sound chip is so hard to find. I found the one that does all the music and everything. I guess it's the same chip that was in the original NES. I forget what it is, the Ryko RPA03 or whatever.
Oh,
it is.
it's the same CPUs that are used in the Nintendo Versus stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
But that's so
the
hard to find.
A203 or whatever.
I found
to find a legit one. There's a lot of counterfeit Chinese knockoffs floating on eBay.
And I bought a bunch, but it's hit or miss. Like 50% of them sound totally fine, and then the other 50%, it's like it sounds okay, like it plays a melody, but it's in the wrong key. And
that's actually
it has this weird sound to it. Yeah.
A long time, like right after I had finished the Red 10, I'm like, I need a bunch of CPUs, and I'm like, oh, these are cheap, and they're the counterfeit ones, and some of them didn't work at all.
Yeah.
And then some of them, exactly like you said, like in Super Mario Brothers, it would be like do 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 do. It was like a low key. It was like Mario went through puberty or something. You know, it's like this it was terrible. And then there was some weird little garbage way up at the top, like something you could just tell like right away wasn't right. And then you'd start a game and you could hear it wasn't right.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh shit, I need to buy the legit ones. And now I don't even know what they're going for now, probably $30 or $40 a pop. And it's everything's just a premium.
Yeah. It's crazy how, as you guys know, I've been out of it for a while, but to see how prices have just gone ridiculous in the time that I've been kind of out for a little while, and then coming back and talking to you guys and stuff is just holy cow. Like everything's like $1,000 or more, it seems, where you used to be able to find deals left and right.
Yeah, it is something else. That's for sure. I mean, I sold my Marble Madness so I could get a punch out and do double punch out, restore, and that it was almost. I mean, I've put more money now. I've put more money into. I sold my Marble Madness for $2,600, I think, and then the guy had it shipped, and that's crazy. I know, and on,
people really
on
like
paper,
Marble Madness, though. It's kind of got a.
It's kind of a hot title right now.
Everyone's like, ooh, Marble Madness.
Yeah, I'm not. But, I don't mean to say that it's unreasonable. I just mean that it's crazy to think that, when I first started the hobby, what you could get Marble Madness for. I mean, like $300,
Yeah. I mean, I bought it as a project for like $200, I think, and it had a monitor that I did a lot of stuff. I mean, I restored it. It had a monitor that needed to be replaced. But I mean, yeah, you have a project for a couple $100 but I mean, and at the time the restoration probably cost me about $1,200 total, I suppose, the full restoration.
Wow.
And then I put a lot into that, and then but then, now prices are, through the roof. But I sold that because I really have wanted a punch out and super punch out for a long time. And that was the only game I looked at my row. I'm like, value wise, and it was almost a 1-to-1 until I ran into some snags, like where I wasn't expecting to run into some stuff that ended up costing me some money.
Marble Madness was one of your favorite titles, wasn't it?
I liked it a lot, but I just didn't play it.
Okay.
That's my thing. I just didn't play it enough. Like compared to relatively speaking to all my other games, I would play it, but like that when I looked at looked at my row of games, I was like, well, this is the one I play the least, and so that's the one. So especially since space for me is a commodity.
Right.
I've got space for one last cabinet, and I've already like.
You don't need that Christmas tree. Get that out of there for the game.
Yeah, no,
it's a very lovely tree, though.
Get the Christmas branch. You're fine.
I'll just do the lights over the games.
Lights.
Yeah, but yeah, then I'm done. Until I'm living in a different space. So,
and you're still enjoying your Wonka pin.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I'm still enjoying getting mad at it, but it's still a fun game. Yeah.
Mad at it? Why? Because it's hard, or is it?
It's a difficult game, and some nights I have like 3 really good games, and then the other nights I could play 24 games and not come close to doing anything like.
I was gonna say it's like
those
for
other
me, it's like
games.
1 out of 5. I'll play, and it's either the first one or somewhere in the middle. Yeah, it's like, and then if you
It's
get really
like
mad at it, just walk away.
Yeah, I need to learn to do that. I
Yell
have
at
a
it,
rule where
kick
if
it.
there's, I have and it's a stupid rule, as Carrie would say, it's a stupid rule. But if there's still a ball locked in the Wonkavator, I'll keep playing until I get that multi ball and all the balls drain out of there. Otherwise,
that's a CD on the gym.
no. I mean, like it'll drain anyways when you turn off then turn on the game. But that's just like So
you
it
play
like
till
it
there's
just
no balls.
Jim doesn't have
that-
OCD. He just spends hours and hours making sure everything's perfectly correct.
Well, that's why I'm laughing, because when I had the super punch out, I had that massive hum, and then I'm like, I put the punch out. I'm like, all right, it's got a little hum. I go, all right, this is what Jim had to fix. This would annoy the fuck out of him. But I'm like, oh, it's a little hum. But he fixed it. I mean, he did fix it. But yeah, this wasn't the hum that like Jim. Oh, Jim couldn't live with this. I could live with the hum.
well,
Is
the way I
just
look
the-
at it, if I'm working on this stuff and
go ahead.
restoring it, if I'm working on it and restoring it, I want to get it as best as I can now, because I'm not going to want to fuck around with it down the road and notice something down the road that
No,
bothers
you're
me.
right. You're right.
Yeah. Oh, what were you gonna say, Adam? Sorry.
Is it all these Nintendo games with the hum? Is it all the same issue? And it's just this. It's one solution or one fix that'll solve them all, or has every game got its own issues?
I don't. I think they're all related. The thread I found on Clav, I forget what they were. I think it was just a general. It might have just been a general Nintendo thread, because it's all for those Sanyo. It's all for the Sanyo monitors, and it's like you basically, it's really simple to do. All you do is you move a capacitor that's already on that little amp board. You move it into a vacant spot, and then where that cap was, you put a potentiometer in there. And you don't have that connected to the board with all the pots for the monitor, because there's a sound pot there. Because now you're using that new pot that you just put in, and that for whatever reason that eliminates everything. A lot of theory is that interconnect cable that's going from the amp board to that to the pot board or whatever is causing a lot of interference or a ground loop or something. And so by eliminating that, but lo and behold, I did it for both monitors and Punch Out, and it was like a night and day difference. I did a little video on it, and it was just like you go from like a noticeable hum that to most people probably wouldn't bother them because you have all the other games on, to like no hum, like just quiet as a mouse. Yeah.
If that's the only game you have on, though, it's got to be annoying, right?
Yeah, and if you compare it to some of the other games, the only other game that I have that's noisy is Galga 88. And that's the hardware of that of those Namco System 1 boards. Apparently they all do that, I found out.
Yeah, you finally ended up determining that was a board issue. Was it? You went through the cabinet and it was nothing in the cabinet causing that?
No, I sent the board out to a local guy that does good repair work, and he poked through and dug into the hardware, and he's like, that's this hardware. And then I started talking to other people, and they're like, oh yeah, I have that too. Oh yeah, that's normal. Oh yeah, that's because it is a noticeable, like it's not a hum, it's just like noise, like white noise that you hear through the speaker. You don't notice it when the game's playing, but like in the attract mode, it'll just be like but yeah.
Yeah, look at these prices. Looking at these prices, one a game that I've always aspired to get was a Tron, and I just don't see any way of me getting that game now. It's so out of my price range.
Yeah, I mean, the only way to buy one really is to buy one cheap. You either get super lucky or buy one that needs restoration, but you're going to dump a shitload.
Or you can trade for one and
right.
then sell it.
Trading is that's a good point.
Yeah.
No.
Should have hit Carrie up before she got her fire escape.
Yeah, I was trying to. That's what I was trying to like. That was a Carrie dig.
Yeah.
I was like, or trade it and sell it.
Yeah.
Wait, Carrie, you had a Tron and you let it go, or what's the?
Yeah. I just wasn't into it. I picked it up. I restored it because when I got it, it was a hot mess. and then I traded it to Dave there for a fire escape.
And then I ended up selling it because it was in my garage, and I'm like, I played it, and I think I liked the novelty of having one. And then it was here, and I don't have space. I'm limited.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know if I want to play this. My son thought it was cool.
Right, the game with the little man.
I know.
And
then
am I
with a
playing
straight
the
arm.
But then, hey, the guy from Toronto, he took it a step further. He was so pumped, and it's
awesome.
It's in his row. Like, it's like if I had unlimited space, I'd say, I love the way it looks, and I'd like to play it, but soon it was here, and I was like, oh my, I couldn't wait for it to get here either, Kara. I remember, like, oh my God, I'm getting a fucking Tron. Yes. And then it's here, and I'm like, I don't think I love it as much as I thought I was gonna. Like, I was so weird. It was so
My
weird.
thing is, when you play it, you can play it for a really long time. So it's like, well, if you know some of the patterns,
it's so
and
beautiful.
cycles.
It's a cool.
It's a
really
beautiful
cool looking cab.
But I was like, I don't have the space.
I'm a huge Tron fan. I should have one.
I think I think part of my issue with Tron is kind of the same issue I had with Zookeeper, which is why I didn't like Zookeeper. Like, I love the part of Zookeeper where you run around and you whack the animals and you hop over things. Like, that's a blast. Why did they put that stupid platform thing in there?
Like save the girl.
Right, like I hate that part. Yeah,
I like Zookeeper though. I do like Zookeeper.
I think the best part of Zookeeper for me is the sound. Just the something about the sound is just so.
It's a great
for what, Zookeeper or Tron?
The sound is
both.
Yeah, the Zookeeper, like, it's a great looking cabinet. Actually, true for Tron too. Great, great sound. But they put this stupid thing that it's like, I really like this one game, but they force me to play a different game.
It's like a mini game, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's Tron too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you can, if you hate one of the stages.
Yeah.
Then it's like, I got to do this
the whole
again.
game. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So
I like Disc of Tron or an E-Dot. I mean, if I space was that, like, if I would love Disc of Tron way over Tron, because I always loved the E-Dot, and I don't think I ever saw a regular Disc of Tron in the wild, but I did see a couple E-Dots and as a kid. But sorry,
I don't
Carrie.
think I've ever seen one.
Wait, who still has her fire escape? This girl.
Me too.
I love my fire escape. So. I have, as the tattoo says, no regrets.
Donnie was going to sell his because he's so low in space, and then he moved it back down into his arcade. He had it in the garage. He was thinking about selling it, and then we were talking to Steve Barbie, and he's like, "Oh, Donnie, you still got your fire escape?" And then he's like, "Dude, it's back down. I'm keeping it now." Like, he started, he's going back and forth. It's just, it is what it is. But I did love the Tron if I had unlimited space.
Yeah.
But hell, I sold a color Tapper that I traded with Bright, and I love Tapper, but I didn't have any passion for the color. Like, I wanted the way I remember it as a kid, and I never saw that color one. And at the time, once again, I'm living on space, and the basement wasn't even rearranged like it is now. And I'm like, this thing's just sitting here. I'm going to sell it. And then Will Bardelli bought it back from me. So I traded with him, and then he bought his own game back. Like, how does that happen? I said he goes, wait, I'm going to buy it back from you then if you're going to sell it. I'm like,
well, sure? if he wants his Punch Out back, he's got another thing coming. It's going to cost him about 4 times what he sold it.
No,
I know, it's gorgeous. You did such a nice job on it.
He just had Richie Knuckles at his place repairing his games.
Really?
Yeah. He had a bunch of games, and he was like, I'm so sick. He goes, my pole position looks amazing. And Knuckles was giving him shit. He goes, dude, the way you just did this, don't do that. Like, whatever, like the stuff you're doing with electrical tape, don't do it. It was kind of, but he goes, dude, my pole position rocks. He goes, it just looks beautiful. And then what else? He fixed like 4 or 5 games for him.
Wow.
Yeah, because he goes, I'm sick of having broken games, man. It's like, all these games, I try and fix them, and I'm fucking it up.
Oh, that reminds me. I didn't talk about this last week, but when Carrie was over here, I showed her how much of a difference that that tinted plexi does with both the monitors and Punch Out, like the little jitters, and it was fun to see your reaction to that, because it's amazing.
Insane.
Yeah, I still don't know.
What are you talking about?
What jitters?
Play Yeah. So if if you just have just the monitors out, like no smoked plexi over them, and you just look at the game, especially the sharp fine details like the ropes, maybe some of the text and stuff. If you don't even have to be that close. There's like this little bit of a jitter just in those areas, and if you notice it once, it'll bother the hell out of you. And I told the story a while back, but I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, both monitors have been rebuilt. Like, why is it doing this? I'm just going mad. And I went on to Clav and started searching through the forums, and lo and behold, I found a guy who was talking about the same exact thing, and it was also for Punch Out, same issue. Because I found other Nintendo stuff, but it wasn't quite what I was experiencing. But this guy was, and I'm reading through all these pages. I'm like, where? Hopefully, there's a solution here. It's not one of those abandoned threads. And at the end, he says, "Well, issue solved. I didn't realize it, but when I put for whatever reason, I put the plexi over it. It eliminates it. It's gone." And so because I had the monitors out of the cabinet with the game running, and so I grabbed the plexi and put it over. I'm like, it's just gone. I don't know
weird.
I don't know what the property is. If maybe it has like a slight blur effect or something, but it's just unnoticeable at 100% at all. But you pull that off, and it's like, it's hard on your eyes once you know what you're looking at.
Right.
I don't want to look at it. Why'd you tell me? I want to look at it.
Yeah. So Carrie's over. I'm like, okay, look at the monitor now. Now watch this. And I put it over. And it's like, what?
I don't understand how that works. It would, yeah. And I
Adam,
can see,
why is
like,
that?
I have no idea, dude.
Okay.
I have no idea. Sorry.
You know everything.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
I don't know.
weird.
I don't know what it. Yeah, and I haven't. Wait. Oh wait, I can verify. I think it must just be. Maybe it is just a Punch Out thing. Maybe just with that game because I did plug because I had some other monitor stuff that was bothering me for a while that I've since resolved for the most part. But I was using the Red Tent. I was plugging that game into those Sanyo monitors, and I don't remember seeing any of that jitter or anything like that.
Was it in both Punch Out and Super Punch Out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. In fact, in my very first video blog for Punch Out, I talk about, and there's a little, I think, I don't know if I had the plexi off or not, but I'm like, there's a little bit of jitter. I think that'll come out with just rebuilding the monitors. And, but yeah, it's so bizarre. But I necro bumped that thread, thanking the guy for posting what it was, because I'm like, I would have gone insane because I had the monitors out of the cabinet. I wasn't going to put them back in the cabinet with the plexiglass until everything was fixed. So it would have been this conundrum. Right. I was doomed. Yeah. Yeah. I never would have thought to just grab the plexi and put it over the monitor out by itself. You know, right? I'd just be like, I'd still be pulling my hair out about it.
Someday with sunglasses, be like, "Oh, it's fixed," you know. And wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like it.
I know.
The solution would have been to give up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, I'm getting a new freaking isolation transformer. I'm putting K7000s in this thing and being done with it. Yeah. That's the thing. Like there were some parts that was just one aspect of my monitor issues that I had with those Sanyos. But I was always on the verge of like, I would just want to throw I have other monitors. I just want to throw a couple of like K7000s in there that I know are going to look fantastic, but it's a Nintendo game. So it's got that 100-volt isolation transformer. You can't just throw it. I would need to rip that sucker out and put a different transformer in there.
Plus, you got to invert the video too, right? Daniel's have inverted video. So
and I have like 4 different. I have a pile of inverters that I've scrapped from over. So that wouldn't be a big issue. It was but it was mostly the power thing. And so I'm like, okay. And these Sanyo monitors, they do look good when they're all dialed in and stuff. But I had all kinds of mostly I had geometry issues that I couldn't figure out, and ultimately I ended up being able to dial them mostly out. I actually had to use a couple magnets because I was getting bowing, and they were recapped. I even sent them to Buffett. Nothing. The same issues were there. And there was a little bit on the horizontal sides, but it really wasn't that bad. The bottom was completely straight, but the top was what was bothering me the most, because like that's where your power bar is.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice straight thing, and so it's really noticeable if it's sagging like this. And so I ended up using a couple of like little kitchen magnets on the sides, and luckily there isn't any like fine white sharp detail. So because it does mess up the convergence, and you can only partially dial that in because those magnets are competing. And so I was able to get that nice and straight, and you don't notice it like convergence wise at all because of just the nature of the game. I did on both monitors, and it came out really nice. And then I was able to just the bowing on the sides wasn't as pronounced, and I was able to just stretch the width, and then with my cardboard, I'd made new cardboard bezels, and it's unnoticeable. It looks nice and square now. But in the past, like with my red tent, and then like with my DK Junior, I've never noticed geometry issues like that before. It just blew my mind. They were there before and after I recapped everything, and after Buffett did his business too. So I still don't know what the deal was. And when I plugged in like Dr. Mario and Super Mario into it, there were minor geometry issues, but coincidentally they were a little bit different. I didn't get as much bowing from the top, and the sides and stuff bowing in, they slightly bent out like this. So I don't know. I'm done with them. Like they're perfect now as far as I'm concerned, and they're not going to get any better. That I know for a fact. So I'm happy with it. Yeah.
So what's left? Just getting both games to switch and
Save.
playing all this stuff?
Yep, the switcher, and then so after assuming that RAM, it should. I'm 99% sure after doing these tests that replacing that RAM will fix that score, and then installing the switcher, and then down the road I need to rig that up for streaming then too, because all my other games are rigged up for that. I'm not looking as forward to doing that, because when I did the red tent, it was a little more complicated because I have to use 2 inverters, and then it's got the speakers. That's fine. It's got 2, the 2 speakers. So I had to do a little more with the crimping and stuff.
What are you doing? Are you taking the video feed that gets sent to the monitor and actually streaming that feed?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just point you to my video.
Yeah.
I won't eat up everyone's time. It's with the Nintendo stuff though, it's weird. So it goes, I have a little case that has all my stuff in there, and then I made a bunch of plugs on the outside so I can plug HDMI into my capture card and stuff, and there's a board in there that splits it but also reamplifies it so that it doesn't make for like a dim monitor. But with the Nintendo stuff, I have to, because originally I was going to, on my on the capture boxes, they have what a setting to invert the signal. So I was like, oh, this will be a piece of cake. I'll just invert it, and I won't have to do anything real different. But for whatever reason, those devices don't like an inverted signal coming into them from the get-go. The whites like wash everything out, or there's some explanation for it. So you have to invert the signal so that it's a regular signal going into the rig, and then when it goes back into the monitor, you have to obviously invert that so it's an inverted signal again going into the monitor. So So the red tent, it's when I open up the door to plug in my streaming deck, there's 2 inverters in there, and I have everything labeled so I don't get confused. Yeah. I did a really detailed video on how it all works, but that was my big project. That was 2018. That was 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, or or maybe even more than. I think that was 2018, but I'll post a link.
How far have you gotten on Punch Out?
On regular Punch Out, I actually, so I like Super Punch Out more than regular Punch Out. I just feel like it's a more refined game in my, like, I think it's more fun. I like the duck feature. It's a faster game. The characters are goofy, but I like regular Punch Out too, but I play Super Punch Out way more than regular. And so with regular, I can loop the guys like maybe 4 times or so is usually where I fall apart. But with Super Punch Out, I can't, I can get consistently through up to the 3rd Super Macho Man, the 3rd version of him. And then I don't have his pattern down yet. And I think it's a 4th version of the characters where after that things don't change, it stays. So if you can get consistently good there,
that's crazy.
But it gets hit or miss. I mean, there, like, you get to a certain point where it's like one mistake can cause you the whole round.
Yeah.
So you can only get knocked down once, and when you get up, you have very little life, and usually the opponent is gonna attack for like right away. And so if you can't get it's tough, but it's so much fucking fun. I love that game though. I never get sick of it. And so,
do you ever try arm wrestling? Isn't that the same hardware?
It's the same hardware.
I played that as a kid. I love it. And I showed my 8-year-old son, and now he even knows. Who's got arm wrestling, Dad? I go, nobody. I know.
Nobody
knows that. Yeah.
I showed him on YouTube, and he's like, was fascinated.
I've had people contact me to fix their arm wrestling PCBs, and I would love to do it just because it's cool. It's new hardware, semi-new hardware, and it'd be cool content, I think, to fix a game like that. But I just haven't had the time to do it.
Dude, charge them a premium. Make a little extra coin. Say, I'll do it. Say, if you want to pay, money talks. I'll do it, but it's got to be worth my time.
Right.
To make me like motivated to do it. Just have them throw a number at you.
Right.
Say, I don't know what you'd pay, but I'm real busy. I hate to even, some guy may say, you're it. Here, I'll give you $500. No one else wants point. You know what I mean? Just say, I don't know. What do you think? I don't want to do it. What's your? Give me your crazy number.
Price, right?
Yeah, your crazy price for me to fix it, and maybe I will.
Right.
But maybe go other avenues. If you really want me to fix it, it's going to cost because I'm not even doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, this is a lot of gas for my
air motor, right?
Yeah.
I do that for like graphic design jobs when I don't want to do it, and I just throw out a stupid number.
The stupid number.
They come back
okay.
And go, okay. I go, okay.
Yeah,
I remember somebody wanted some custom animated pumpkins once, and I just was not in the mood to do it. And I go, hey, well, it takes like a couple weeks, and it's a lot of work. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And he's like, well, what is it going to be? I go, oh, $2,000. He's all, okay.
What?
I'm like, oh shit. In reality, it would take like 3 days to do. I just was throwing out,
So you do animation, Mark? That's what you do?
I'm now I'm a manager, but I do multimedia work for a company.
Oh,
yeah, you become management, so you're slowly dying each day.
Yeah, you don't get to do fun when you're manager. You're art director.
Yeah.
So that's why I do fun stuff on the side, is because I don't get to be as creative stuff at work. Yeah, so I do special effect pumpkins for Halloween, and I don't know if you've seen that animated Jack Skellington singing that's projected onto like a round ball. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
I love that.
I'll
That's
post
really
it in
cool.
Do you have the RC up? I'll post it up
Yep.
there if you want to check it out. But and also, did you see Mark Time Runner's Discs of Tron with that animated background? That was
I have
me
seen
who did that.
Yep. That's awesome.
With the recognizers flying by.
Yep.
Yeah, that was me. So
wait, I didn't see that. So wait, what did you do? I maybe read something, but I heard him say, but I didn't see the video. I'm confused.
I'll post that first.
It's
So,
for his EDOT. He's got an EDOT. Is that
so
what
he
you're
has
talking about?
a environment, Discitron, and I just posted in there. See, at the very end of the video, you can see Mark did a test to put the monitor in, to show what it looks like flying around. I also posted the raw file or the file on YouTube if people want to download it. But I recreated the clouds flying by and all that kind of stuff, and we went over all that. But let's see here. Post the thing.
Oh, you did this for his video.
No. I created the background. Mark and I worked together, and I created the animated background because he wanted to replace the cardboard background. That's because it's just a graphic behind the mirror, you know.
Right.
So it's an easy mod to go back and forth from. So if you didn't, if you want to keep it original, you can just take the monitor out and put the graphic in its place. But it's just a flat panel 4x3 screen, and it plays. I put the jack head up, so there's the main background of it.
That's cool.
So there's a I still got to do the SART carrier. I forgot about doing that. I got to put that in there. I have a SART carrier model.
I don't know how you survived.
Look at the recognizer has a shadow even. See that?
All right. So I don't know what I'm looking at because this is your version and I'm like lost here. So
okay. So in Discitron, this is in the background. It's just a still image. It's just a picture, and on top of it is because they do it by reflection by a mirror, or actually is it by a mirror? I think it's glass, real shiny glass or something. I don't know.
So his reflection isn't still. It's got a TV and it's reflecting your animated version.
Yeah, so like it's got a glass. It's angled like this.
Yeah,
and you got the monitor underneath. I think it's underneath, and it's reflecting the game. And in the back here is you just usually a still image of that city. Well, I animated it, so you see like beams going up, and you see recognizers flying by, and sometimes they stop.
He slid in a LCD. Is that what he did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was my work. But also, if you want to check out the jackhead, I also do animated pumpkin singing and stuff like that. But
that's awesome. Yeah, my daughter's a junior at Massachusetts College of Art and Design doing animation. So.
Oh yeah, it's a fun field. I mean, there's lots of different things you can get into now. I mean, you can do TV work or lots of different things. But Gabriella, I don't know if he'll know what that is. There used to be an old ride at Disneyland called Adventures Through Inner Space. It's a shrinking ride. It was before Star Tours. You got into a chair and it shrank you to the size of a molecule, and you saw like snowflakes, and there's projected snowflakes and atoms and nucleus and all that on the wall. And anyway, that ride went away in '85, and I recreated the whole ride in CG for fun.
That's cool.
So yeah, just fun stuff. Just I don't know. I feel like
Mark, I have a serious question. Did you change your hair?
No, it's just really long because of COVID.
Is that what it is? I'm like
Andrew. It's like I haven't cut it in months. And
okay, I didn't know what was the deal. I'm like, I don't know if you just didn't have any product or you're having a bad hair day.
Does weird things to it too.
So. Or an extra good hair day. You gotta.
Did he get transplants? Does he have more hair? Does he have less hair? Did he used to have a mustache?
The software trims my hair weird ways.
That's the first thing I noticed was Andrew's hair.
Yeah, we're all going COVID hair.
His hair is curly. And he's like this, so he looks like he's 12 years old. He's not his normal tall self. It's like, does your mother know you're up this late?
My mother, aka
the sounds are still here. Yeah,
I mean, technically, the ends of these hairs. I was around some of you.
Yeah,
now his head disappeared. See how it
does
weird things.
I'm in the house because it's fucking snowing outside, so yeah, I don't have the regular screen.
Snowing outside. Wow, we haven't had any. Well, we did get some snow, but no accumulation.
Yeah. Same here.
Anybody else? Did you got some? Adam?
Yeah, just a dusting for like a day, and then that was it. It was gone. I think the day after.
You know what's funny is I have an 8-year-old, and he woke up my 13-year-old to like he's still so cute. Casey, it's snowing. You know, he's all excited. I'm like, what? His Carter woke me up because he wanted to tell me it was snowing. I thought that was cute. I was like, oh.
Yeah, now go out and shovel the driveway. That'll kill the love for that.
I know. No, I got a snowblower. I'm in Buffalo. Got the old blower. What's this Falcon's Maze? What is this?
I don't know.
Falcon's Maze. That's was it?
Warlord or War Games, right?
War Games, yeah.
Yeah.
Whopper.
Mm-hmm.
Whopper.
Learn, damn you, learn.
WOPR, yeah. That was funny.
Speaking
What did
of
who?
VR,
Someone
let me see my new.
is that Orange Whip that posted that about the
Is that your new girlfriend?
Yeah, my new girlfriend
during the
right
election? Yeah.
here. Her name's Cindy. Yeah, no, I made the leap to the Oculus too. So, if anybody's into VR out there, it's pretty awesome. Screen door effect almost gone. So.
I don't even know what that means.
Means well, the old
Put your
VRs
face
you can
in
see
a-
like a screen door. Yeah,
Put your face in a CRT. You know, you can see like the lines in between
the
like
pixels.
phosphors and
Yeah,
pixels.
because of the
It's kind of like
magnifying
that.
glass. Yeah.
Okay.
You can ignore it after a little while. Yeah.
Playing Star Wars Squadrons in a cockpit, looking around is just there's nothing like it. It's if you ever wanted to know what it was like to really fly an X-wing, VR Squadrons. I don't know, came out maybe a month ago. Is just Andrew, is it amazing?
It's amazing. It's super fun. It's super immersive.
Yes.
I mean, it's just crazy, like, flight tracking and stuff like that. So it's like someone flies by your canopy, especially in like the A-wing and the X-wing, and it's like you can track them and then chase them. Change the whole thing. It's like dogfighting. Like I don't know if anyone besides Mock probably played like the old X-wing games or X-wing versus TIE games.
Yeah.
All right, so that was really hard though, because like you'd lose people and you have to pay a lot of attention to your radar.
Yeah.
The visual thing of just be like
Yeah, your radar and your visual.
Yeah.
But if you ever played the X-wing, the old PC game, this is like they took a lot of cues from that, and you can divert power to like all your power to like your weapons, or divert it to your shields, depending on what's going on, you know, or to your afterburner to get out of there. So it's not just it's not just an arcadey flight shooter like in the past that came with like Battlefront. You know, it's not like that.
Are you guys addicted to VR? Do you have problems with VR?
I'll post a link just so people can see what.
What's that movie from the 80s or 90s with the
VR to them is like poker, Dave.
No, but what's that movie where the guy's like addicted with
like poker.
Shut up, Carrie.
I'll post. Here's a link. I'm gonna post a link in IRC that shows what the old game looked like.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So this is
we played that well, Jim.
just click real quick just like we planned for a second.
Yeah.
You can see in the very beginning, you see what the old X-wing game looked like, and you can see the upgrade of what VR looks like.
Oh boy, I remember this game.
It is incredible. I mean, you're flying. Now, there's nothing like flying and attacking a Star Destroyer. It's just insane.
Oh wow.
It is, and you really feel like you're sitting in a canopy and looking around. And
if
you push your stick, like if you have a HOTAS, what is it? Hands on throttle and stick. Is that what it stands for?
Yep, hot ass.
Yeah. So if you control the acceleration or the stick, it mimics it in VR when you look down at your hands. You know, it's hard to explain, but everything.
All right, I'll give you guys something. This is fucking cool as shit. I mean, I could see the allure of this. This is wild.
Oh, it's so cool. That link I posted kind of shows what it looks like when you're playing it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's super fun. Andrew and I have both been playing it, but we haven't played with each other yet.
Yeah,
for some reason. Maybe during the holiday.
You guys, you need a pretty decent PC and a pretty good video card for all that work.
Yeah.
In addition to the Oculus.
Well, Oculus 2 has a handful of games that you don't. It just runs off the Oculus 2. It just runs off the Quest. But stuff like Squadrons, yeah, you have to have a decent VR ready tower and a decent graphics card. I don't know what the low specs are.
I don't know for Squadrons. I mean, low spec for VR is like a 1080.
That's what I have. 1080
So what-
or
it
Or sorry,
runs on
1070.
Yeah, I have
It
a
runs on your
1070.
computer and then sends a signal to the goggles, or is there a cable?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
a cable.
HDMI, HDMI
See
and
this
USB.
cable right here.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Quest 2 is wireless for certain games, so you can play like Beat Saber and some other things that are you don't need a wire for. But the high end.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I always thought everything was wireless. Oh, that could be kind of.
Some are wireless, some aren't. It depends on the game. Like Super Hot, you can play that wireless.
So you
Beat
need a really
Saber-
long cable so you're not spinning around and wrapping yourself around in the
that's why
cord.
I have it on a pulley system. You can't see it here, but there's a pulley system I have on the ceiling, so the wires go straight up.
So
So
you're,
we don't
all,
get tangled in
you're all
it.
suspended like
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
Like a marionette.
It's like the gas station air.
Here, let me turn off my. Let me turn off my.
Is that Ready
I
Player
just have
One
a
when the
boom
guy's
arm.
on like rollers and you're just kind of sitting there?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have. I don't have that. So okay, so I'll turn off the thing. Okay, so see
Oh,
the
God,
wires
he's
go
addicted.
straight
Look
up
at
in
this.
the air.
Okay, yeah.
Look at
So
this thing.
it's on a pulley system. So
Oh my God.
This guy's hardcore.
Dude, he's into it. Oh.
and let me show you my
Where's your hot app?
my HOTAS system.
Wow.
So Gleek
crazy.
says, "Is that mock sex swing?"
And so you bring that into the bathroom with you, right?
It's wireless.
Oh, it's not, this is not wireless.
He's
Unfortunately.
got wires all
Hell
over.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
choking
hell yeah,
himself.
cords.
He's got wires
Plug it
all
in
over the
so you guys
place.
can see it.
You can kill yourself.
Okay, there you go. So you can see it lit up. So
That's a
Oh, wow.
strangling hazard right there.
That's crazy, man.
Don't
yeah,
play if
so
you have
this is-
epilepsy.
That's the way to play that X-wing
Yeah,
game, right?
yeah,
there.
that's
I
what
want to
this
see
is for.
videos
This is
of
for
you with that
acceleration.
fucking
You know, your
unit on
thrust.
doing that.
You know, switches for things. A bunch of buttons here.
Yeah, I want to be a
There's
fly on the wall when he's playing.
That's crazy.
See, there's a
Someone
switch
comes up
here
behind
to
him.
flick
Hey,
up
Mark.
to shoot your missiles.
I would
And,
want like a like afterburner type cabinet that can rotate and stuff. You know what I mean? That would be.
I mean, that would be
sick.
totally
So
game
this
changing.
is super fun. I mean, it's just I can't explain it. It's just
Yeah.
it feels like if you've ever been on that ride Star Tours at Disneyland, it's like that, but you're controlling it.
Right.
That's just the best way I can explain it. Yeah, it's just really cool. So
That is cool.
super fun.
Nice.
Oh man, I'm digging it.
Yeah. You know, if you have a decent like PC and you know, the VR is only $300 if you want the headset itself is $300. So
Hmm.
it's not up 500 and more like it was.
That's a good chunk of a paramotor.
It's your reserve
That's-
parachute right there.
That's side art.
It is,
Jim.
yeah.
Pay a little
The guy
less
that's just the
side
guy
art.
that's Adam. You know the
Yeah.
guy that's coming on right now. He's the one that made these.
Carl?
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are like I don't know what they're. What, these are cool
Wood?
as shit. Yeah,
I
they're
know,
like
they're
awesome,
video.
They're awesome coasters.
awesome coasters. And that's Carl. Did he make it? Where is he?
There he is.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Wilson from Home Improvement. You got to raise your fix your
Yeah.
camera. We're not seeing your whole face.
He's
Am I here?
presenting the wrong thing.
I know she's trying to share his screen, which I'm stopping.
That's not a screen.
I got mine right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Can you guys see me and hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm not doing anything wrong or right.
No, you
No,
got
I think
it.
you were trying to share your screen by accident. That's why
Okay.
we didn't. So
Did you cry with the close of Drinkers like we did?
Oh man, I tell you, I did. I have. Man, we were working on them. I'm dragging my feet. My buddy's super busy, but we have. Did you see that little snippet, Dave? You might have seen it. The one I did for you guys for RIP Grankers. The coasters. Did that go through, Dave?
I didn't see a picture. Did you send me a photo or something?
Okay, hang.
Oh wait, yes. Oh shit, maybe
It's
a
like
photo.
it's your logo, but it says RIP Grinkers. It's like a little different configuration.
Hold on, let me look at your thing.
Maybe, maybe not. I have a sample one.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me see if it'll.
I have one upstairs.
No. You did.
But yeah, it's for you guys. We're working on them. Like my buddy Brendan's been super busy with the engraving on the rich light skate light material that we made those out of, or he made them out of. But let me run upstairs and get one. This is actually
it's easier. I haven't put up the orientations for
This is
I'm drunk.
But
That guy here, huh?
Yeah.
No, he made one. It's he did some. I never even looked.
Yeah, hang on. I'll be right back.
I'm surprised I didn't see any of these. Oh, he's got. Oh, wow, that's cool. He's got a video of him producing it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
what the
nice.
sound is. I was like,
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he's a
that's-
short video. I didn't. I
that's
never.
cool.
I never saw any of these. I did not get them.
I didn't get the video, but he sent me a couple stills I was going to pull up, but he ran away.
So he's going to get the actual thing. That's like the.
So that's P.O. Box care of C. Bart.
Yeah, these are pretty neat.
I don't know what's better. The light in here's all right.
You're okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Arcade Hangout, RIP Grinkers.
So yeah, you got. The logo
Aw.
Oh, nice.
with the-
oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I don't know. I want to do something, but I didn't want to do something with a year because everyone's got to remember.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I like
that's a good. That was
Um,
smart.
But we did it in the same colors of this rich light with the inlay, but he had some brown and some red. So anyways, I was gonna, because I have your info, Dave, I was gonna send you like half of them, like 50 of them.
Yeah, I can
and
mail them out to everybody. That's
and
fine.
then send the other half to you, Andrew. And I can, if you wanted to give me a shipping address, I was going to send it UPS. That's how we ship out of the.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
company I work for.
Nice.
Oh, I like the Christmas tree, Jimbo.
That's the general consensus tonight.
I know I do like it too.
But yeah, anyways, it's funny. Earlier, I reached out to you guys, like, because sometimes I fall asleep waiting for you guys to get on, and that's exactly what I woke up and I was like, I wonder if they got back to me. And sure enough, here I am. So is it really just the 5 of us tonight?
Oh, you must be looking at
Oh,
the smaller
sounds-
screen. Well, there's 9 of us.
Yeah.
Oh, good. All
We
right.
are the
great.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Alice is in the
And
middle.
Mock's in the center.
Oh, I have Adam in the
It's
center.
Yeah,
different for
Adam's in the
everybody.
center.
It's different for
On
everyone.
YouTube, Mock's in the middle. So hi, Mock.
Oh, I'm Alice.
Yeah, you're Alice, buddy.
Same
Only
hair
us old
color. Same
people
hair
get
color.
that
Change
joke.
Alice.
Oh, there's a hair joke.
Has to wave up. Dave,
Andrew,
you
did you
gotta
get that
kind of do
joke?
one of these. Gino's one of these.
I didn't hear. I was trying to check the YouTube.
Like,
They
look
said
at
I'm in the
that.
middle, and I said I'm Alice.
This is,
Alice?
Gray
Who
hair.
the?
I get the joke. Yes.
Yeah.
how is it?
I thought there was something about the
Everyone had
hair.
a good summer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
gray
missed.
hair. The gray hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same
We
color
Alice
hair
had-
as Alice.
Did Alice get cheap meat for dating the butcher?
Oh,
Did
Your
you guys
best-
get a nice
Good
early
discount.
Christmas surprise from those guys at Allen
What about him?
Those guys are awesome. From Johnny and the rest of the guys.
Yeah, like 2 different times, they gave donated their Allen One yoke for Star Wars for Grinkers. We had it was kind of a side tournament event for whoever got the highest score in Star Wars won the yoke. And I believe I wish Gak was here. Gak had a tournament. Oh wait, was it ours, or I think it was Gak's tournament? I believe they had Vector Games.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
At CAX, it was at CAX, and yeah,
I still have the poster from it.
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, because one of well, actually one of I brought a game that was in there. What? Because it was the my Gravatar was in that one because I used that fucking sticker that wasn't the kind that easy peels off. It got stuck there, and I had to use like goof off to get it off.
Goof, yeah.
Is this the prototype tournament that Gak did, or
actually, I think the Alan One guys. I think they brought. If I remember, I wish Gak was here. I think they brought their own cabinet, but it was part of the event, I believe. And then they gave away a yoke on that one too, I believe. But yeah, no, they're great.
Super nice guys. They
produce a great product too that everybody can't tell the difference. You know, it's funny, we didn't tell anybody that it was their yoke that was in the Star Wars at Grinkers, and nobody could tell. Nobody went, oh, this feels weird or anything like that. They announced it at the end, like, oh, you guys have been playing it the whole time. Neener. You know?
Yeah. It's like Crafty's bit kit.
When Alan and I forget the other gentleman's name, when they brought the yoke up into the bar for the first time, it was me, Steve from Grinkers, and the two of them at the end of the bar by the Mario cabs. And when you hold this thing, there's weight to it. And there's actual quality to this thing, and it's holy God, I am holding something really nice. That was spot on. And I didn't even know that the one that was in the cabinet was their product as well. And I was like, oh God, this is spot on. It's the same difference, but apparently I just found out that it was actually the same stick.
it's I don't know if you can even tell the difference. I mean,
probably not. It felt the same as Grinkers has or had the Star Wars Ship 1 as well, and that yoke is a nice heavy yoke, and there's balancing pins and whatnot, and it felt about the same weight as that thing. After holding that thing in my hand, I went up to that one and went, yeah,
that's almost as good as the 1-Up version. I was joking.
Okay, there, go back to the MAME corner.
I like you, Betty.
I haven't played the 1-Up one. I want to see what that feels like. You know, does that feel like
you just rip the cabinet out?
Yeah, I wonder. Has anybody been able to?
Don't want to take a hard left and then you.
I wonder if you can reverse engineer that to work with the main cabinet or whatever you wanted. I gotta see what it feels like.
I'd like to see what it feels like too, to see how close they got to replicate that.
Because when I remember way back when the 1-Up guys were bringing their Star Wars cabinet prototype to E3. That they actually were using the Allen One yoke to show off their cabinet, even though they didn't reverse engineer. They probably took it and reverse engineered it and made a cheap version of it, but they were using the Allen One yoke at the time, but eventually made their own that's probably way cheaper. I think that whole kit is like, I want to say $500, I believe. So, and the Allen One yoke by itself, I think is $600 or $700, right? So there's no way that the 1-Up people were using that yoke for their arcade cabinet that you put together with IKEA tools, you know?
Yeah, they're just made out of cardboard.
Yeah, you just push on it and the thing falls apart, and you know,
it's like every shelving unit ever from IKEA.
Yeah, so I've never seen a Star Wars 1-Up, so I don't know. Did they go with a metal yoke, or it was composite, or
I think it's all plastic. But I've watched reviews of it on YouTube, and everybody loves it. But see, I'm listening to people that aren't hardcore arcade people, so
yeah,
it's just what they remember what it was like playing it, and they were probably like 6. So you know, I want a real hardcore arcade person to review that thing and compare it, you know, and see how it is. But
I wish I still had my Star Wars game.
Yeah, just grab hold of it and just shake the shit out of it and see how well it handles, kind of thing, huh?
Yeah, it came. The 1-Up one came up with all 3 games too: the Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi raster thing. But
Is Road Blasters is the same, has the same yoke too, doesn't
Pretty similar, but doesn't have the tilt.
Similar.
Yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't tilt.
And it has like a weird little like U thing underneath the handles, and the grips are slightly different too. I think.
I'd have to look at that. A buddy of
In
mine
fact, it's
has
not
Road
nothing
Blasters.
alike at all. No.
Totally different colors. I think the center section might be similar.
Hydra.
Scratch
Hydra
that.
uses-
Reverse it.
Hydra uses the
Yeah.
similar one.
That's a soundbite we need, Jim. From Wonka.
Oh yeah, so strike that, reverse it. Yeah. Nice. I do need that.
Indeed.
Yeah, I know. I just
There
it
it
makes
is.
me laugh every time.
All right, Adam, what's that from? You know what that's from?
That sounds like Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nicely done.
Now, this really pisses me off to no end.
One of my absolute favorite movies as a kid growing up. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Just-
No,
we
I
just
just-
watched that for movie night
Wait,
last week.
yeah,
We just
we
tried
just-
to watch it at work with some guy who'd never seen it, and he couldn't stand it. He's like, "Can
Oh,
we
yeah,
change
it's
the
not for
fucking
everybody."
movie?" And I'm like, maybe if you don't, maybe you didn't see it as a kid, like the first time, and then try and I could sort of feel it, but it's like, I don't get this.
I've showed it to people that have never seen it. In fact, we watched it with a 30-year-old, and she loved it. So it's just, I think it just depends on the person.
All right, because
I
I
didn't
still
know anything
enjoyed
about
it. I mean, I still like, you know.
So for movie night
And
last
Gabby never
Saturday,
seen it before.
we
She
watched
liked
it,
it.
and I loved it. It was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
So like movie night there on Saturdays when we hold that in our Discord chat there. That's the first time I've seen Big Trouble in Little China, and I went,
Oh, you never
"Holy
seen that
shit!"
before? Wow.
First time I've
That's a
ever
cult
seen it.
classic.
oh,
They kept
really? I
quoting
know
it,
that,
and
right?
when we started movie nights, I went, "You know what? I have to watch it with these guys." And I watched it and went, "Holy shit! That's a fucking amazeballs movie."
It is.
Six
Loved it.
demon bags. Terrific.
Who saw it in the
Six
theater
demon
here?
Bags.
Anybody?
Sensational.
I saw
What's
it in
in
the
an
movie
egg?
theater.
I didn't.
HBO.
Nobody?
Just used to watching
Nobody
HBO.
saw the. I saw it in the
Yeah, I
movie
think
theater.
Adam, me too.
No, nobody.
I had a
Nobody saw
VHS of it.
VHS and
Yeah.
HBO and some whatever else.
As a kid, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
This was back when
Just-
ninjas were cool. and
Oh,
everything,
yeah. You know,
I was in
just some of the
11th
guys-
grade when that movie came out.
Oh, I love that movie.
So Gabriel in chat says, "I loved it."
Yeah.
So it's like awesome freaking movie. It was.
I was telling
and-
everybody that to me that's sort of like the first Ash, if you think about it, because he's sort of like the hero, but he's kind of a little, I don't want to say dumb, but he's just, you know, he's
A little bit
he's
bumbling.
a little bumbling,
Yeah.
and kind of doesn't want to be there, and he kind of he's there for selfish reasons because he wants to try. So he's sort of a lot like Ash, and this is way before Ash from Army of Darkness or Evil Dead came out. So he's kind of a similar character to me.
Indeed.
Thank you, Jim.
That part came on last Saturday when we were watching it, and like I had like a laugh attack. I just couldn't stop. I'm like, I need that soundbite.
Great movie.
Harry, did you see that movie in the theater or did you rent it? No?
Yeah, no, I rented it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And sorry,
VHS.
my internet's acting up. So
Oh, all right.
I might be
Come on.
kind of.
Tell
I'm
the
just
dogs
on
to stop chewing on the
Wi-Fi.
internet cable.
I
Jeez.
So-
know, right? Bad dogs.
So,
Bad
Adam, just to let you know, on every Saturday at 7:00 Pacific time, we all meet up. Well, we try to all meet up anyway on Discord on our Arcade Hangout channel. And Andrew streams from his Plex, his huge library of movies. We have like a pot of movies, you know, like of all these different titles that anybody that wants to see a certain movie, we put it in sort of like a randomizer, and every week we hit the button and it's, you know, 2 movies will pop up, and those are the 2 movies we're watching the following week.
That's
So,
awesome. Is it like
Yeah.
Mystery Science Theater 3000? You guys make fun
Yeah.
of the movie? Or do you, oh, that's great.
Yes. Big time. Yeah.
That's great.
And,
What's on the
the
list for
next-
this week?
Next week or this Saturday is Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 3. We skipped
Oh,
2
nice.
because it stinks.
It's a totally different movie. It doesn't connect
It
anything.
doesn't even
so it's-
fit. Yeah.
yeah.
What they were trying to do in the sequel was Freddy was supposed to be like out in the real world. It was his mission, is trying to, instead of being in dreams.
So he's got like a job, or
Yeah, he wants to be in the real world and get a job.
we're gonna make you these.
Like we need to
Nobody
turn
wants
him
to see
into your
Freddy doing
average
that.
slasher villain.
Yeah, people want to see Freddy
Making
you know,
salad
doing-
with his.
with his yeah. With it. He's
Edward
giving,
Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands a run for his money. Yeah. I can make a rabbit, bitch.
Works for a landscaping company or something.
Yeah.
Works at Benihana's.
Yeah. So, yeah, one and three. Three was written by the guy, I forget his name, but the guy who wrote the screenplay for Nightmare on Elm Street 3. He went on to do like big Hollywood movies. He's like a big time writer now. I mean, he wrote the Shawshank Redemption.
He co-wrote it with Wes,
screenplay.
or he helped rewrite with Wes, I think.
And
That was the
that
story,
and The Mist and
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven and him. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But Stephen King even likes his work, and so he's, I don't know what other, I should look up what other movies he's done since then, but yeah,
that'll be a good double feature. And then after that, Adam, I think the plan is for us to switch gears to, since it'll be December, then the following week to switch to Christmas movies.
Holiday
Whether
movies,
where we'll take a vote. Like that's different. Like we probably won't do a randomizer. I think we talked about like kind of votes or throwing out suggestions and kind of who all wants to watch this or that. Since there's only a few Saturdays of the
right.
So yeah, if you want to join us, it's always
awake.
Yeah, send me the invite like you guys do for these Tuesday hangouts, and if I can make it, I'll jump in.
Yeah.
What's your
get your wife to join too?
What's your time zone? Where are you? East.
Yep. Yeah.
East
So
Coast?
same as Dave.
Yeah. So we have a few
East
people that
Coast,
join
West
that are East
Coast.
Coast, like Seabart and stuff. So
You guys know.
yeah, but I really look forward to movie night. I have a really good time on movie night. It's fun.
I'd love to join you guys
that's my
for
drinking
movie
night.
but I don't really have much of a cell reception. We're up at we got a lake house or camp, and I actually was fortunate enough to join you guys back in October for the Farewell to Drinkers, which I was blown away that the cell reception worked, but 2 out of 5 bars and whatnot. But I guess that's all you really need. But I hear listen to you guys talk about the movie night every week, and if I'm still awake every week.
Yeah, you should join us. We
for
have
sure.
about 10 people most of the times in there, like
You guys
Jim,
can
Carey, and
choose some
myself,
great movies.
Seabart, Andrew. Yeah, I should join us. It's fun. We have a good time. And
You guys are
what else are you gonna do? It's COVID. You can't go to the real movies.
Yeah. The local movie theater here shut down because of that.
Oh, yeah,
they
it's
shut down
awful.
really. And they'll probably never open up again, which is
Wow.
like
That's
a lot of
terrible.
places around the country, unfortunately. Probably around the world for that matter.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun is after COVID's over, if there's still theaters around, wouldn't it be fun if we all like met somewhere and rented out a theater and we could all just take over a theater for a night?
I think they're doing
That's a
that.
great
Though,
idea.
like some of the
That would-
movie
I
theaters,
would
like
love to. I would love that actually.
Yeah.
That'd be
they were
amazing.
renting out private. Somebody was just telling me that movie theaters you could rent, like during COVID, they're just trying to figure out a way to make,
make
money.
money.
and it's like it's your private, rent it out for $100 for a movie or 200 or whatever it was.
We
Somebody's
did
just telling me that.
out
They're doing
here.
that around here. Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder, do you give
like
them the
$5
movie or
a
do they
day.
tell you what movies
20
are
people
available, or how's that work? I wonder.
Oh, yeah.
You pick a movie. I think we did it twice this summer, late summer, and the last one we went to was you choose it, and I think the first one we went to, what the hell was it? What did we watch? It was
Do
Indiana
they give you a
Jones.
list that you choose from?
Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
And that was a good time. And then about a month later, because the group that we were hanging out with, it was the first Harry Potter, which was a great group. Right? We have some.
See, we could do like a little mini Nat tournament, and then one night and another night would be meet at the theater and take over the theater for an evening. I think that'd be a blast. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think
That'd be a
fun?
great idea, just as a cool down at the end of the night. But most people are just going to want to stay around and do what we normally do at tournaments.
Yeah,
When I was in New Hampshire in the summer, they still had the drive-in open, and I was hoping to take my kids there. But they had Harry Potter. My kids don't know Harry Potter. And then, all right, we're leaving on Saturday. They're changing the movies on Friday. And what do you think? They changed it to Willy Wonka, and we had the DVD in the car that the kids watched on the way there. You know, it's like, oh, are you kidding? Like, why couldn't it just be something else? Like, they're not gonna. It wasn't even. I'm like, oh, the drive-in's perfect, and then I'm like, I'm like waiting all week. Like, oh, they're gonna change it because the kids don't want the Harry Potter. They had Grease, and they had some other R stuff, but then I'm like, oh, the family movie, and then Willy Wonka, Jesus! I mean, it's great. I love it, but we have it in the car. They watched it, on the 8-hour drive a million times.
Yeah, we only have one drive-in left within distance of my place right now, and that one's closed now.
But they were doing drive-ins like at Walmart parking lots, like to try and.
They wouldn't let them do it up here, though.
Oh no,
that's a shitty thing. And we even tried. So, like snow dumps, they sit empty most of the summer, and they're for the most part asphalt, and so the snow melts and goes down to the storm drains. Yes, I know, California, we get snow up here.
I don't know if we have a snow. What's a snow dump? You just take all the snow and put it in the pit.
It's where the city just dumps all the snow and shit, so it melts down in a controlled area that's not flooding streets or whatever.
I get that. I don't know. I've never heard that term
we have
before.
One just down the road here, and it's like, hey, we want to get one of those giant inflatable screens, set it up, and do drive-in movie theater in here. And we're going to get the broadcast license for the FM radio bandwidth or AM, whatever it was. And they said, oh, well, no, we can't do that. Like, okay, this isn't even COVID. This is last summer, not 2020, but 2019. Said, no, we can't do this. It's a screen and a projector. It was going to be for fundraising, but yeah, we're trying to get drive-ins back up here, but
we have a parking lot like that. It's called the Snow Lot, and then they want to put up housing. And so I asked our friend who's in charge of the roads around here, snow removal, and he's like, yeah, the city council wants to put affordable housing up there, but I'm like, where are you going to put all the snow? Oh, they haven't figured that one out yet. But
exactly.
They're going to have to pay to truck it out. Yeah, they want to maximize all the.
We have like five or six snow dumps in Ottawa, and it's like, okay, well, they sit empty. It's empty land owned by the city. Let us put up an inflatable screen, or even just temporary stuff up on stage lighting truss work, and put up a screen or whatever, and let community groups use that as a revenue source. Hey, here's a movie. We'll broadcast it. We'll have a little booth, projector on top of it, kind of like a shipping container deal. Yeah. Put a projector on top of it with a high yield, and just have it there, and have the transmitter for the AM, FM, or whatever frequency bandwidth we choose. And they said no. It's like, the land's sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, it's too
Let
bad.
us make use of it. And hockey groups can rent it. School groups, school fundraisers can rent it out. It's like, hey, look, we'll give you the projectionist. You take in whatever you take in. Here's the concessions. You just make sure that the person working in the kitchen has their qualifications to work in the kitchen. So they have their food handlers course, etc. And there you go. But they won't touch it. It's a risk. It's a risk that they can't accept because it's city properties. Like, here's the red tape roll. Shove it. Thank you, Jimbo.
You're welcome.
I've never heard this term. Tomorrow at work, I'm going to ask, like, where the hell is there a snow dump area? And everyone's going to probably be like,
you live in freaking Buffalo. There's a snow dump.
I guess there is. I never heard of it. I've never
look
heard
for
of
a
this
big
term.
open field that is City of Buffalo property.
Well, City of Buffalo doesn't plow their streets. I live in the burbs. It's horrible. It's like you cross this, it's like the imaginary line, and
you cross the streams, dude. Don't do that.
No, you just cross. You go from like one stop sign to the next. You're like, what the fuck? Nothing's plowed, and it's
not so much the plowing. It's like they'll plow up here. They'll plow into cul-de-sacs and whatnot just to get the snow out of the way. Then anything left over, when they take away the snow banks, they'll put it into trucks, then bring it to one of the multiple snow dumps and dump it in. But after, say, end of June-ish, beginning of July. There's no snow in there.
Let us use it.
But yeah, I can guarantee you, if you live in the northern climate, there's snow dumps around. If you get
Oh,
snow
yeah,
on a regular
definitely.
basis, so
Just never heard that
Buffalo-
term before.
No
I
block
don't-
somewhere, Dave. Especially
I don't know. I never see. I never see a truck
maybe
with
Black
snow
Dog
going
7
anywhere.
here knows there's probably
I've seen that.
snow dumps in
We have a snow dump in town.
Well,
There you go.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
find out tomorrow because I'm gonna ask. Everyone's gonna look at me like I'm a moron. I'm like, what the fuck is it, dude? What, you lived here all your life? You know what the fucking snow dump
Dave.
is? I'm like, no, I've never.
Okay,
Last
Dave.
night someone brought it up.
Dave just used these words. Hey,
as a bowling ball.
I'd go with cue ball.
Oh,
I've never heard
But
this.
Dave-
I've never seen trucks.
Dave just asked him, hey, when they take the snowbanks away from the sidewalks, where do they put all that crap? That way you don't have to admit that you don't know what snow dump is.
No, but I'm in the burbs and they're not hauling anything away, even if it's
What
It's
about
just-
parking lots, Dave? Like, do they just put it in a corner of a parking lot? They just keep it piling up.
100%.
Okay.
100%. It's like you got
Not all
it's
of
like
it's
it's a
fitting in
fucking
one
glacier.
parking lot
Some,
dump.
some places, if it gets too
Wow,
big, they'll just start
Yeah.
filling up dump trucks. They'll get a front end loader and they'll just start filling up dump trucks, and the dump
Yeah.
trucks. will
I've
bring it to
never
some
ever
place.
seen this. There's
Yeah.
no way I could not know this.
Jesus.
There's some pretty cool
Come
videos
on,
on
Dave.
YouTube of places like in Canada and stuff where they'll have a
Wait,
whole
where?
whole series of Canada.
I don't want to go to work, but I want to go to work tomorrow just to ask.
And they
Like, what
just
are-
dump
what
them
are
over
these
a
guys talking
ravine,
about?
and it just it's crazy.
No, I've never seen
Yeah.
this. Never.
It's
I don't
normally
see dump trucks. I don't see the
either
Die Hard
paved
2
or
where
gravel
they're hauling the
hard.
gold
You're doing
away.
a great
or
job.
whatever. I don't see this.
Public.
It's not.
It's
It's not happening.
pretty much a big, normally a fenced-in area, and it's either a gravel or an asphalt, and it just rolls down into a catch basin or multiple catch basins, and it goes out to the local storm drains,
Hold on a second.
which up here feed to
34K. You got this shit? He's got snow.
Absolutely, I bet
I
you
don't work for the city, so I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I've never
but-
heard
but they,
this
but they,
term.
do- they do the same thing with like where they just pile the shit up in the parking lots, but that's
Yeah,
like the
I've
parking
never
lot.
seen it. I've never seen
I don't
a
know
dump
the
Here,
city
truck.
did-
I'll,
I don't
I'll
know if the
post
city
one
does
in.
it.
I'll post one in chat. This is the one that I think.
Thank you, Black Dog.
4K, 2 hours.
Barry and
2
I don't
hours
have
of
snow.
Here you go, Dave.
loads.
2 hours
there
of
it
snow
goes.
dumping
Yeah,
for you.
there we go. In Montreal, Canada, close enough,
Or
but
Gino doesn't either.
still a 2-hour drive.
Snow what?
Snow.
Yeah, Gino and
we
I are
have
definitely very
rains-
safe from.
Rain woes.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
holy
Holy
shit.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that where they push
Look,
the
see all the way on the
snow?
left.
Welcome
see
to
all the
Canada.
dock all the way on the left. That's where they dump it off.
Wow.
Yeah, right there.
Put off the edge there, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome to
Wow.
Canada. This is Montreal.
Look at
They're
that
buttholes,
cliff.
but they speak French.
Wow.
And that is a
Let's push it
definitely
off there,
a
Henry.
snow dump.
That's one hell of a sledding hill.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
dude,
say
that's
that.
steep.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was thinking. Fucking sled that thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even a snow
Wow.
dump. That's just
Long down
pushing
there.
it off the side of a cliff.
Realize what the value of that mountain is?
Wow.
I'm going to go with about 30, 40 feet.
Did you finish watching that, Gino?
No, I couldn't see the whole thing. But
I couldn't either. I was like, all right, I'm leaving the stream running. Good night, guys.
Oh,
yeah, about halfway through it.
Yeah, nice.
Through what? What movie?
Better off
Better
dead.
off dead.
Oh, was that the third movie?
Yeah,
Ah,
it was the last one. Yeah.
yeah, I watched the 2 movies and I went, gotta get up early tomorrow. Bye.
Yeah, we're up late doing movie night, so it's optional. You know,
Yeah, no, because I wake up in the morning and go, why are they still logged into Discord when I get up? What the hell?
yeah.
Are you crazy?
Was that the third or fourth movie?
After the third one, I start fading.
But you guys do 3 freaking movies?
Wow.
2 and then
And we're
bonus.
drinking the whole time.
We've done as many as 4.
it's usually why I end up having to duck out after the
Can
second
you even
because
hear the
the
movie
the
with you
booze
guys
has made me
talking, or is
tired.
everybody
yeah.
sleeping?
So we watched Maximum Overdrive,
Big
Big
Trouble
Trouble in
in
Little
Big
China,
Trouble. Yeah.
Aliens, the director.
Oh yeah, Aliens.
Yeah,
it
That's
was the
right.
I
fourth
didn't
one.
even
Yep.
see.
What was the fourth
Right.
movie?
No wonder I was so
Better Off
tired.
Dead. Fourth movie's
God.
Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead. Better Off Dead with John Cusack,
Yeah.
and I
Great
think I was
movie.
falling asleep during that, and I left.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh
people were
yeah,
waffling
we
for so
did.
long,
We
I
made
was
it
like,
through. We made it through most of Aliens, so we got actually
Nice.
almost finished Aliens. Almost got through the third one before we were like,
Yeah, I've had days where like the sun's coming up and I just like basically get up and walk my dog.
What do you do? And you ask yourself, what am I doing?
Exactly.
If we're still watching movies and I see some sun coming up through that window, I go, "Holy shit!
What
Some of
is
the people that
this?
join us
I'm
are
late for work.
insomniacs, so they don't sleep anyway. But Andrew and I both
Yeah.
are not insomniacs, so it's hard to keep up.
Dude,
So,
the only way I'm
what are you
saying-
drinking tonight?
Mhm.
What's your brand there?
Oh.
I think there we go. Bud Light. Yep, you have a friend there.
Yep, this is for you, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
We have a good
Oh,
friend
no.
that she likes to drink. She calls them blue cans. She likes to drink her blue cans. And so I bought a 12-pack for her last week, and she couldn't make it over with her and her daughter and our daughter hang out. So I'm drinking her blue cans that we bought.
Nice set of Hooters you got there.
I still can't
Not
believe you
those
guys
blue
are
cans.
staying up till the sun comes up. The only reason I'm going
Not
to
always. Yeah.
That's a late.
the only reason I
Not
would be up
always
till the
and not
sun
all of
comes
us.
up right now is unless right after the sun is about to come up, I'm going in my fucking coffin because I'm a vampire. I mean, I'm 48 years old. I cannot stay up even with this. Even at the casino hanging out. You guys are staying up till like 5 a.m.?
What are you, puss? Come on.
Dave, it's only the young ones staying up.
You know, that's one of the best things I loved about Crinkers is the next day I'm listening to Mock and Andrew and telling me that, oh yeah, we were there till 5 a.m. And then like I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I mean, granted, I hit it hard and I start early and then Mock's like, I don't feel good. And I'm like, dude, you got OLD syndrome. And I was like, what? I go, you're fucking old. What the hell are you doing up till 5 a.m. 3 nights in a row?
That's not the
Older
only
than all you
syndrome.
guys.
I go, what is wrong with you? And he's like, oh, I know.
I don't want to miss anything, man. Because
I just
you
can't
missed.
believe it.
If you
You're
leave early, you
missing
miss
out.
fun things like the things that Andrew and I have witnessed that are.
I know. I the story that's. I wish I could have. Like I hear that. I could never make it as long as you guys, and I hit it hard, man. And I'm still like, no, I can't.
We become bartenders.
No, you guys were in it for
help
the
people that are
duration.
too
couple
drunk to
hundred
get
dozen
home.
classes.
We find people that have hit their head on pavement.
Oh, I was there for that one. Yeah.
No, it's just
That
all the
sound
fun
is
things happen.
burned into my brain.
Oh, please, that sounds awful. Oh,
So you guys want to wrap it up tonight? Are you guys ready to call it?
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
Kind of late.
Only
Oh,
140.
God, I woke up off the
Well,
couch
Adam,
one
thank you
piece.
for joining
I
us.
made
You
it.
have
Yeah.
come anytime
Hey!
you want.
Through the
we
whole
love
thing.
having you.
Yeah, it's
whole
great
movie.
to see you guys.
Yeah, we missed you guys.
Thanks,
we missed
Adam.
you. And
Hey,
Adam used
you
to
are
be a
allowed to
regular
come
on
on
the
now and
show, and
He
he's
still gets a link
guy.
every week.
But yeah, if you anytime you have an open invitation, just like Time Runner. Yeah, you too. Anytime. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
And Carl came in, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, and
Yeah.
you know, and
Hey,
Adam,
thanks for making
everything
the,
you do, Adam. You
Oh,
know, I've
yeah,
reached out to you once or twice years ago about some repairs, but I know you're a busy man, and
yeah.
Yeah, don't bug
Someday
him.
you do though.
when I retire, I'll take it up again. Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
time.
we're
It's not that,
plenty of
it's not
time.
that I
30
don't love it.
years.
That's what I was telling these guys. It's not that I don't love it. I just don't have the time. So someday I will, and then I'll
Yeah.
get back and do it again. So
Yeah, you'll be
Definitely.
looking for
That's
stuff
a
to do when
retirement
you're
in what
retired.
30 years there.
yeah, 20.
No, he's an engineer.
Folks,
He makes
all
bank.
you guys.
He's retiring next
he's,
year.
he's just Adam's just kind of with the $2,800 bills there.
Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us. Had a great time tonight. Everybody in IRC, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it was a
And
pretty big
we
IRC.
Do this once a week on Tuesdays. We have game night. Well, anytime during the week, pretty much now. Just join us on our Discord channel, Arcade Hangout. I don't know how they get that link, Andrew. What, do they just bother you or
You
what?
just PM me or
Anyone that's
Find us on
there.
on Twitter or something. You can grab us there too, and we can get you connected up to Arcade Hangout if you guys are interested in joining us for game night or for movie night on Saturdays, which starts at 7 p.m. Pacific. I usually jump in a little later. 7's a little early for me, but yeah, we do usually at least 2 or 3 movies, and sometimes 4. All
Yeah, we
depends.
try to do the 7 o'clock to respect our East Coast people.
Yeah, we try to do
10 o'clock
7.
for
Yeah,
them.
for the East Coast people.
Be the first
Yeah,
time.
So.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, that's like what 10.
I was like,
yeah.
wait,
So,
who,
Yeah,
is
it's
it
already
just
10.
Seabart?
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, it's 10 o'clock for them, so it's still late. So yeah, so join us there, and thank you for joining us, and have a good week, and happy Turkey Day, and we will see you next time.
Thanks. Yeah, back in.
Bye.